Smartly Uneducated is hands down the greatest podcast in the world. But be warned, this one is not for the faint of heart. With topics ranging from true crime to conspiracy theories, this podcast doesn't shy away from violence or controversial content. Their slogan,
"Oh, we're going to Pluto to see alien titties,"
or
and suck on it till you get some raw milk,
isn't just a catchy tagline. It's the truth. These hosts have a world of knowledge that expands across the cosmos. If you are looking for a podcast that will make you laugh, make you think, and make you reevaluate your life choices, tune into Smartly Uneducated and join the uneducated madness.
Anyways, welcome to Smartly Uneducated, everybody. My name is Ben, and we are, and Evan is here as well. Look at Evan.
You
Look at that guy. No, I switched it to you.
Handsome man.
I switched it to you, and then there is also our special guest, Pat Stanley.
What's up, guys? What's up?
Hey, Blake, how are you?
There's a story behind that.
No,
so,
he told me it, and he told me
yeah.
that's what everyone calls him. So
Yeah, that story actually.
Don't
so,
judge me.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So,
would you like to share that right off the bat, just because?
Evan, you got kids?
Yeah, I have one.
Do you know the book Flat Stanley? I mean, it came out.
I do, yes.
So, my last name being Stanley, I went to the fire academy a couple years back, and I was the heaviest and oldest guy in the fire academy because, I was old. Most of those guys were like right out of high school, and they knew the Flat Stanley book. And like I said, me being the heavier one, they called me Fat Stanley, just kind of stuck. Well, fast forward, I've done fence work with some firefighters and my current fire department. The nickname is stuck. I've kind of been involved in the service for the last, off and on for the last 5 years. And the nickname has followed me everywhere. So it's kind of funny. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Gotcha. I thought Ben was just out of the gates poking fun at you. Not even like.
Well, so whenever
dipping his
Ben and
toes in
I,
a little bit.
whenever Ben and I were younger, I had a different nickname, much as he did back in the day, which, I mean, behind him, and you probably know this, his odd affinity to the Dark Knight.
The Batman.
My affinity was to the other great superhero, Superman. Again, my last name being Stanley. My dad became a real big fan of it, of the logo, whenever I was in middle school. So we kind of picked it up, and it just became kind of our unofficial family crest. So I had it on my pickup truck. I even have the tattoo of it on my back, which is inadvertently tied into my dad. So yeah, went from Superman to Fat Stanley.
So you two have affinities for superheroes that are kind of cool. I tend to have superheroes that are to the lesser side. I have an affinity for the superhero Vibe. I don't know if y'all know who that is in the DC world.
Yeah, Vibe was actually a side character for the Flash.
Yes, and for Superman and for Batman as well.
Yeah, he's a lesser known hero.
My suit's cool because I made it myself. Get over your dead parents.
Was it the
I can
10-minute alarm
cuss.
that
I
just
can
went off?
cuss. Fuck yes. Fuck.
No, you can't. We just started.
Oh, wait. No, that was 10 minutes. I just hit 10 minutes. You said I couldn't cuss for 10 minutes. You're lucky.
Well, I guess that's fair, huh?
No, you're lucky because if we had done like 20 minutes, dude, I would have been saying more than just curse words. I would have been throwing out racial slurs. I would have been throwing out derogatory things towards indigenous people.
Indigenous people.
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what indigenous means, but I'm going to use the word.
Well, I mean,
Just in, Ben is not afraid of using racial slurs. Everybody, ding, ding, ding.
Hey, it depends. It depends on the context. If you're saying it as a dictionary term, then that's okay. Like, I would use it now, but I don't have to because I just explained it. So I don't have to say racial slur names.
If Ben had to wait 20 minutes, I'm pretty sure his head would legitimately explode. Like he would just.
I know. I was trying to get him just the other day to not curse for 20 minutes in the intro of the show. But you saw how well that went. We did
Yeah.
a 10-minute timer instead of a 20-minute timer.
As soon as it went off, as soon.
Wait, did we do a timer? Or did
You
do
just
it?
did.
Oh, but that was for 10 minutes. You said 10 minutes.
Yeah. I know that, Ben. We have just discussed it for the third time.
I don't like you right now.
That's all right. That's all right. You don't have to like me. You have to talk to me.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
y'all
cool.
are in this together. So,
And now, it's all three of us in here together. So keep that in mind.
I'm fine with it.
So, Blake, you said that you're a firefighter. Why become a firefighter? What enticed you to do that?
So, like, not to get all religious and stuff, but like right out of high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. Like, my dad built houses for a long time. My grandfather actually retired from Dallas PD back in '93. My dad was a police officer before that, before he started building houses. Excuse me. And I didn't have any real direction. Like, I just kind of drifted here, there, and elsewhere. And it was one of those things that I was like, you know what? Like, again, not to get all religious, I'm like, Lord, where do you want me to go? Like, I need help. I don't know where I want to go. And dude, it was just as clear as day. You're going to be a firefighter. Like, this is where I want you to go. This is, I'm like, cool, let's do it. I was a volunteer in a small town out here, not too far from us. Don't want to drop any names of anywhere I'm at.
Yeah.
I was a volunteer out there for a little while. My dad came down with cancer. Was there for about a year, and then my dad passed away. And it was one of those things that I was like, okay, I'm 19 years old, 20 years old. Like, I'm not really ready to, like, this is a lot of weight on me being the oldest son on my dad's side. So I was like, you know what? I've got to step back. I've got to kind of get my bearing a little bit. Life happened. Took me about 9 years to finally get back around to it. And then finally got the opportunity to go to Fire Academy and all that kind of stuff when I was 27, 28, somewhere abouts. Went to Fire Academy EMT and have been kind of pursuing that ever since. But yeah, like, it was clear as a bell. Hey, this is where you're going to go. Cool. So, I mean, I come from a long line of like police officers, teachers, stuff like that. So, I mean, it's kind of almost a family type deal, first responders, stuff like that. Because my dad was a police officer, my grandfather was a police officer, my great grandfather was a police officer. I've got firefighters and police officers kind of further down the line as far as like distant relatives and stuff too. So, I mean, it's just kind of one of those things. I mean, the funny thing was, when my grandfather came down from Oklahoma, he came down to test for the police department, and he was there and he was like, you know what? Why not? I'll go ahead and test for the fire department. He didn't weigh enough. Never thought I would actually ever hear that in a fire test to be, hey, you can't be in it. You don't weigh enough. You're not heavy enough. And then when my dad tested, he actually tested for fire department, his early 20s too. At that point in time, they were going for minorities, and him being a white man, he didn't get it. So he went to the police route. So yeah, I'm black sheep. I'm actually going the fire route.
Yeah, but you.
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that's all. I was going to say that's all very, very interesting. You said that you joined it when you were 28 years old. That is a bit on the older side to be joining the fire academy. I've had, I think, 3 of my close friends join the fire academy at like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah,
they are now both in like the hazardous fire side of it all, right? So it's all very interesting.
I want to share a fun fact because I remember back when me and you knew each other back when we were younger. You always talked. You actually had spoken out about how you wanted to be a firefighter. You had mentioned that several times, and then I think whenever it was you who had brought that up, and I was going to tell you this yesterday, but whenever you were talking about the whole firefighter thing back in high school and stuff. You had said like what you had to go through to get it.
Oh, dude.
And you were talking about how you had to be EMT certified, all that stuff. Well, you were the reason I went and became an EMT.
Oh, really?
Because you planted that idea in my head. Because when you said what brought up the whole EMT thing, I started looking into the EMT stuff. And then I was like, oh, I really want to do this. So that conversation that we had actually propelled me to go and become an EMT. at one point in time in my life.
Let's see, I
So,
always thought I was a
yeah.
horrible influence.
You are a horrible influence.
Well, the thing is like, so let's see. For about a full year, I was actually working for a private EMS company. Again, not naming any names. Dude, the stuff that they see is just wild. Absolutely wild. But I mean, I say that, and I've seen some pretty wild stuff on the fire side too, because we do all of it at my firehouse.
Yeah.
So I'm a part-time firefighter right now, still kind of working on getting my foot in the door as a full-time. And like you said, Evan, I mean, I'm almost 35. That's really on the older end because, I mean, a lot of the guys I went to the fire academy with, dude, let's see, Christy was a year older than me. So she had just turned, I think, 29, 30, something like that. The next closest one was our captain, and he was 23.
That's crazy.
Yeah, everybody else, I mean, one of my best friends now, he's a firefighter, I think over in Denison. He just turned 22, something like that. And I mean, he's a firefighter, medic, and all that.
Yeah, that age gap really speaks volumes to like the what am I trying to say? The tenacity, like the hardship that you really wanted to fight through to even become a firefighter. Because being a firefighter is not easy. It's a pretty noble thing to want to be. Run into a building and just save people who are either on fire or the house is on fire in the most traumatic times of their life. So, from me, I have much more respect for individuals who want to do that line of work than others. I mean, even police officers, I respect them, but I may not be their biggest fan. You know, firefighters have like the respect and the likeness of the regular folk, right?
Well, and I mean, you know, Ben, you were actually an EMT for a while, weren't you?
Yeah, I was I want to say it was, I only did it for about 8 months until I just completely abandoned the career because I was pretty much railroaded by the system.
Really?
Because I was barely getting 11 hours a week.
Yeah.
And I wasn't, I couldn't make a living. Like I had to go and get 2 other jobs just to
keep the lights on,
just
and
to
all.
keep, just to survive. And no matter what I did, because I wanted to be a paramedic, but obviously I just cut that whole line off.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, this isn't working.
Well, and I mean, that's the horrible thing about it is, I mean, and this goes for every first responder, not necessarily just fire, EMT, like all of us on full cylinders, dude. For the stuff that we do, like, they don't get paid nearly enough. I mean, some places they get paid pretty well. I'm not going to say that, you know, everywhere. And I mean, the wage gap there is starting to kind of narrow down as far as, you know, some places they're making like $55,000, $56,000 a year to, like you said, run into a burning building and, you know, as we say out there, fight the dragon. But, you know, there's a lot of time, you know, there's a lot of health risks to it. Like, firefighters are actually at 68% higher risk of getting cancer than normal people. And that's just because of the mercantile products, stuff like that gets burnt, all the plastics and everything like that. It gets in our sweat, like in our pores, from because, you know, we're sweating. I mean, you know, your normal bunker gear has got 3 layers to it. So I mean, you're not only hot from the fire itself, you're hot because of the gear protecting you. So I mean, you're sweating like crazy. So your pores are wide open, and you're drawing in all kinds of nastiness, man. Like it's gross. And a lot of fire departments nowadays are actually going to, like, I know several of them where they have 2 sets of gear. And I mean, it's not cheap to outfit a firefighter with bunker gear. It's not cheap at all. But there's a lot of places that are going to 2 sets of bunker gear per person. So like, you know, you go fight a fire, you go do this, that, or the other, and that gear gets somewhat dirty. You throw that stuff into the wash, which they've got a really cool extractor that, you know, pulls all the nastiness and stuff out. And then you grab your other gear. Like you immediately, like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's a lot of firehouses that actually have saunas for you to go and sit down in and kind of sweat all that stuff out after you get done.
Yeah.
So you can kind of.
I got some questions for you if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
So so obviously the rules and regulations change as, you know, since, you know, 20 years ago of what's required to become, you know, a firefighter. So
Okay.
what all do you have to have under your belt in order to become that, because I'm sure that there's somebody who will end up seeing this or potentially that is curious about it. So like, what education and skills and trade, whatever, you get what I'm saying? Like, what all do you have to do?
So to become a basic firefighter, and I mean this just is kind of across the board. Most places require you to have your EMT basic. A lot of firehouses want you to have your paramedic. That's just on the medical side of it, which can be its own step. I mean, you can go and get both of those without having the fire stuff at all. Like you can go and be work in the EMS field and just be that. As far as the fire side goes, though, you usually have to have your Texas, and this is just for Texas. You have to go through a certain amount of hours of actual hands-on training. You have to have classwork. You have to have your hazmat awareness and operations. So at a base level, you can handle a hazmat scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's, you're not going to be sitting there cleaning it up. You're not going to be sitting there elbows deep dealing with hazardous materials as far as that goes, because you're going to have somebody that's actually a higher, like a hazmat technician that has actually gone to the classes, actually has like the certifications, actually like knows the chemical level of all your hazardous materials. But I mean, for the basic stuff, it's kind of like the Fallout guy. I sit there with my thumb up. I'm like, okay, we're far enough, guys. We're good.
Yeah.
But most of them, you've got Fire 1 and Fire 2. Basic structural firefighter 1, firefighter 2. You have to have those, and you have to re-up. You have to have so many continuing education hours every year.
Yeah.
So like for the fire service, and it's really nice because the fire side of it, everybody re-ups their fire cert. It has to be re-upped Halloween. Every one of us. The EMS
so
side
is that pretty much universal? That's like, is that across the board, or is that just per like firehouse?
That's per the state of Texas. As far as the other states go, I'm not sure. So the interesting thing is fire in Texas, ironically is the fire school I went to. But the fire certification in Texas, we are so strenuous on the level of education that we have that you can apply for what's called your seals, your IFSAC seals. My certifications can actually carry over for several other states within the United States.
Yeah.
My education, like I could apply for my seals and I could be like, you know what? I want to move to Iowa for whatever reason. And, if they accept my seals, I don't have to go and re-up and test and go through the process again for the fire side of it, because if my seals carry over, I've already got the education. I've already got the certification.
Yeah.
And the EMS side of it, you go, and this, I never really understood this. So on the EMT side of it, and as far as I know, the paramedic side as well, once you go through the schooling, you have to go take your national registry to make sure, hey, I know what I'm doing. And then you can apply for your state certification.
Yeah.
It always seemed a little backwards for me on that one. And I mean, I kind of get it because they want you to be able to practice on a national level and be on the same level as, people from New York. I'm taking the same test for the, EMT National Registry as an EMT in New York is. So that way, there's no, hey, this is what we got going on. They're going to be able to do the same level of care that I can.
Yeah.
And vice versa. But like I said, it just seems kind of backwards because, as far as the fire side goes, it's state by state basis. So, I mean, my schooling's going to be a little bit different than someone else's and so on and so forth. But yeah, there's a lot to it because like the EMS side, you can re-up. So you've got your national registry re-ups every 2 years and your state certification re-ups every 4, which mine's coming up. But the EMS side, it's not as uniform as the fire side is as far as the state of Texas.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love the...
So just bottom barrel, like just the bare minimum here. What is, if someone were to pursue this route, what would be the first 3 things they need to do just to get them set into the proper path to make this a reality? So
do your homework, find out what fire academies you can get into, because there's some schools that'll actually give you a degree in fire science. So you'll actually get your fire certification the same as me, but you'll actually walk out with, I think, either an associate's or a bachelor's in fire science. So you'll have your college credit hours. Some places require some college credit hours to get on the fire department. But find the fire school you want to go to, start working out. I mean, that's all I can really say is work out, hit the books, kind of know what you're getting into, because there's a lot to it.
Mhm.
There's really, you've got to look at structural integrity. You've got to look at, there's, chemical makeups of the fire, oddly enough. And ironically enough,
all right. Hey. Let's get into the nitty gritty here. Have you ever ran into a fire before?
yes, I actually went to one
Did you come at
2 nights ago.
Did you come out fully erect?
I mean,
Because I feel like my adrenaline will be pumping, dude.
so it's one of those things that you actually have to like stop for a minute before you run in. Like you've got to just like, all right, let's go. Because if you're not, dude, there's a lot that you can miss, and you could get yourself and whoever you're in there with in a lot of trouble.
Just to play on.
So
sorry, go ahead.
the fire doesn't make you horny, because damn, it would get me going.
Dude, it gets the adrenaline going. Like I have to calm. I mean, I wouldn't say erect, but I mean, I've got to calm down a little bit, because like, dude, it makes you feel like a man, like straight up. Like there's
Yeah,
no two ways
absolutely.
about it. Like,
That's what I mean. It's that barbarian shit, right? You're running into a fire to save somebody, and you come out, you're like, me just did fire, singing. I feel like I'd just be so horny on it. Like I'd just be ready to go.
The fun thing is like this particular fire that we had the other night, a trailer house exploded. We actually had
Badass.
responded. Yeah, we actually responded as a mutual aid. Somebody else's call, but they're like, hey, shit's hitting the fan. We need everybody type deal. We get there, and I mean, dude, there's probably a good 60 or 70 firefighters there. And that's not
That's cool.
including, that's not including like fire marshals, PD, like, dude, there was a lot going on. But anyways,
So was the meth laboratory? Everybody in there okay? Did people die? Is everybody all right there?
I don't think that there were any people involved there, because I mean, like I said, we
Okay,
were
good.
like we were actually later on scene than anybody else, because
Good,
like I said,
that's a badass thing to come across. Like just an explosion. First off, explosions, badass.
dude,
Fire,
no,
badass.
this is fixing to get really cool. So anyways, the house explodes. We're there, and I mean, dude, the neighbors, so they've got a double wide, and then the neighbor's house. The house didn't catch on fire on the neighbors, but like they lost, I think, 3 vehicles. Dude, we're out there fighting the fire, and like you hear explosions. Like, I'm not sure if it's like
Yes.
spray cans or what, but like you'd be sitting there just, hose going and everything, and pow! I'm like, all right, that's cool. And the really bad thing is like as we progressed, they had a little metal shop, and like their gas line was back there, and you literally hear it bleeding off natural gas. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be really bad. Which finally one of the guys was able to get to it and turn it off. But I mean, we're sitting there, and like you just hear there. I'm like, oh,
Well,
this is
to play on the whole explosion concept. If there, so one of my buddies, actually, he was on the podcast a little while ago. His name's Cyber Steve, and he had told me, I want to say a few weeks. Shout out to Cyber Steve. Love that guy. He will be on the podcast again soon. But anyways, so speaking on the whole explosions and running into a fire, the manliness.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it takes
Put hair in your chest.
It takes a real fucking man to be doing that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Just
Or a
crazy.
real
Just
fucking
crazy.
woman.
Well,
Just
yeah,
fucking crazy
yeah.
people.
There's some women in the service, man.
Oh yeah, no. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
It's
but
okay.
You get what I'm
it's
saying.
okay. You're
It was a
taking it off
figure of
the.
speech.
You're being sexist over here. It's okay.
Hey, that's cool. That's why every time I see that dishwasher not working, I go and give that second black eye. No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke. Anyways, but no. So he had told me about how his neighbor house caught on fire, and it was like, I think he said his middle night. Don't quote me on that. But it was late in the evening or some shit.
And he says that, and it's like noon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so apparently he ran over there to help her, and like he like stepped into the house, like trying to help get whomever out. And he said that like there was opening doors or whatever. And I had brought up to him, I said, well, I forgot what it's called, but it's basically where it creates like a vacuum. So like when you open it, it's like a surge. If I'm wrong, correct me. It's like a surge of oxygen goes in there, and that accelerates the fire, and that's why like you'll get that explosion coming out of a. I don't know what it's called.
It's a backdraft.
Okay,
It's a backdraft. So they've got whenever I started the academy, prior to this, because like I said, I was a volunteer when I was 20. So, I mean, they were putting me through like a part-time academy. Things have changed literally in less than 10 years. So when I was going in, see, it was 2008, they had the fire pyramid. You needed fuel, you needed oxygen, you needed an ignition source.
Mhm.
So you've got, your oxygen, obviously air. You've got your fuel, which is wood product, whatever else. And then you got your ignition source, match, whatever else.
Mhm.
Well, whenever I went in and actually went through the academy, they changed it from that to the fire. I don't remember what it was called, but they added a chemical reaction. So you can have any of those, like you have to have all 4 of those for it to actually work. Because, I'm scientific over here. You have to have a chemical reaction. Fire is energy. You've got to have the chemical breakdown of the fuel source. Without that, you're not going to have fire. Without oxygen, you won't have fire. Without ignition source, you won't have fire. You've got to have all 4. So if you're going in, and I mean, that's the reason why a lot of times they're like, oh, hey, when you sleep at night, make sure you shut the door. Because it's actually a drastic difference. You could have fire literally on the other side of your wall.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's going to be a drastic temperature difference between your room and the other, like in the hallway.
Yeah.
Because of just that, 3-inch
Oh,
barrier.
no, for sure.
And as soon as you open that door, if you have a window open or whatever else, you got that flush of oxygen feeding that fire.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got it closed off in a room, and that's one thing that irritates firefighters about police officers sometimes. Not going to say all the time, but like they're going to have, they go in, oh, we're going to help out. We're going to bust out all these windows. We have no control over the airflow at that point.
Mhm.
Whereas, we show up on a scene, we stack up on a door. I say that like we're freaking SWAT, but we stack up on a door.
You're going to swat that fire's ass.
Oh, yeah. We're going to go in there and bust a cap. We go in and we have control over the door. If we make sure it's open, we make sure we can get in, but like before we're ready to go in, we make sure all sides are closed except for access points. As soon as we open the door, the fire is going to follow the air because that's where the oxygen source is. If we go in somewhere and we can shut the door, a lot of times, there's some times where it'll actually put itself out. It'll smother itself because it won't have any oxygen.
Mhm.
The backdraft, like you're talking about, it's nearly smothered. You open it up and it reignites. Here's the interesting thing. People think of smoke, they're like, okay, it's just smoke. It's, whatever. It's actually unburned fuel.
Mm.
So really interesting little science experiment you can do. If you get a candle, let it burn for a little while, you blow it out, you can light the smoke trail
Yeah, I've seen
forever
that.
up and it'll light the candle
Yep,
back up.
I've seen those. I've seen that.
So, it's a priming.
Did you say forever up? So like if the smoke trail is a mile long, if you
Well, I
light
wouldn't say
that, it'll still
forever
light the
up,
fire.
but I mean, if you're like a foot away from the candle, roughly, and it's got a solid smoke stream coming up from the wick, you can actually light that candle back up from that because one, the candle's still hot, but like I said, smoke is unburned fuel.
So whenever you return back to fires, like say a burned down building a week later or uh, a day later, what is like a remnant that is left over? What is something that is the least burned object and most commonly found?
It really depends. So a lot of times if you're going into a structure, because the way houses are designed nowadays, I did build houses too, which is very helpful. They're designed to be sealed off. Dude, I've done everything apart from stripping and dealing drugs. I saw that smile.
No. I'm sorry. I was smiling just to give context. I was smiling because I saw Evan's face because you started talking
Uh-huh.
and I forgot to hit scene switch and it was still
I
on
made a
him.
face at him.
Yeah, so that's what happened. That's what happened. Go keep going.
But
Sorry.
but the
Evan
house,
just being a dick.
well, I
keep
mean,
going.
yeah, it's whatever. But a lot of times, houses are designed nowadays to be insulated so well. I mean, you got your double pane windows, all that kind of stuff. So luckily enough, now foundations can actually be saved. Not foundations per se, but like your structural integrity. You've got your studs, you've got your actual building materials. So that fire we went to the other night, before we left, one of the neighbors' houses actually caught fire. So we were actually inside doing what's called overhaul, and it's making sure that all of the small fires and anything that may rekindle is out. So I mean, I'm in there, with
Oh.
a New York hook, pike pole, whatever you want to call it, pulling down ceiling. I'm literally driving this spear into the ceiling, pulling down ceiling tile, or not ceiling tiles, but pulling down ceiling, insulation, all that kind of stuff.
Like dry panel, like drywalling.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm pulling it all down because, the fire is up there. We actually saw it coming from the eaves and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of neat. That's horrible to say, but it's kind of neat to see. But like, since we know the fire is in there, we can't get the water up there from the inside. So we've got to pull it down and expose it. Well, whenever we left, yes, the ceiling is all screwed up, and yeah, they're going to have to replace a lot of the interior stuff. But at the same time, the structural integrity of the house was still there. For the most part,
That's cool.
there was one room that was like gone, like it was fully involved. There's nothing they can do with it, but like you've got a lot of the trusses in the ceiling. You've got a lot of the since it was a double wide, they've got that laminate brace that ties the two of them together.
Yeah.
And it was still in one solid piece.
Hmm.
So I mean, if we're able to get there in time and actually get to it, I mean, we can save a lot of the house.
Yeah.
Usually. But I mean, you've got to think the damage is done. You've got water damage. You've got all kinds of stuff. So I mean, a lot of times you're going to have to replace a lot of it anyways and kind of start over.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, if you get there, a lot of times you can actually see remnants of the actual house itself, the actual
If I may,
infrastructure.
that really gets me thinking about the longevity of items, right? So, do we know how long concrete lasts in general for a foundation? Is it lasting 100 years, 30 years, things like that?
I can give a good answer to that. So I know that with the way they do concrete now, depending on how they do the support for the concrete, like down on the underneath. So there's this thing. So what they do is they do lime slurry, right? And they'll go out and they'll dump. You'll see. I'm sure people have seen it in construction sites. It looks like it's a giant tanker truck, and it's got like a little boom. And when I say a boom on the back, it's a pipe that's as wide as the truck with holes spread out throughout the bottom.
I did concrete too.
Yeah. I did it. I used to do it. I used to do it. So basically, you would dump this lime slurry down. They would have a mixer. They mix it with the soil, and it would make the ground. The foundation is actually the soil. It's not the pad of concrete. It's the soil in the ground. So that soil now has become more stable and durable for shifts, especially if you live in places like here in North Texas, where you have like black clay, where it starts drying up, it just shifts and everything gets screwed up.
Oh yeah.
But they put that down, and then when they put the concrete down, the concrete actually can last longer now because it's on a much more stable base. So the life expectancy of that concrete has improved by, I want to say, at least 20, maybe 20 years, depending. Obviously, if some crazy cataclysmic event happens, maybe earthquake, shit like that. But you get what I'm saying. But it is exponentially different now compared to 30 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Because they weren't doing that lime slurry mix 30 years ago.
No.
So I hope that answered your question, sir.
Well, you gentlemen, whenever we first brought up that we wanted to be on the podcast and talk about just things in general, brought up a topic called the Silurian Hypothesis, and now my brain has been just racking back and forth on what is able to like live longer than our lives, and apparently it's not concrete and foundations. I was wondering if in like 100 years they'll be like, look at this fucked up structure this guy made. Like what was he thinking? So
well it's the same. Well, the thing is that over time, like even if someone was using concrete thousands of years. So sorry, we should explain what the Silurian theory is. But before we just jump right into that, I want to say thank you, Blake. Camera's on you now. Thank you for doing your little Q&A with us.
Hey, I mean,
I appreciate
a wealth of useless knowledge.
It's not useless.
That's not.
So are we.
Well, real quick, Evan, you're talking about asking about the foundation and stuff. We actually joke around with, there's, obviously houses that we're not able to save. Don't worry, guys. We saved the slab.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So just all right. So Silurian theory. let's jump right into it because I think Evan's chomping at the bit now because
yeah.
we keep doing wordplay where it's bringing up slur.
Slurry.
And now he's all like, oh, I got to talk about the lizard people. So the Silurian Hypothesis, it is a thought experiment and a speculative scientific hypothesis which proposes that an advanced civilization might have existed on Earth before humanity. Possibly millions of years ago, the hypothesis is named after Silurian geological period, which lasted from 443.8 to 419.2 million years ago. Wow, that's very specific point numbers. Let's just say 400, around 400 million years ago. Let's just say that. The term Silurian is also a nod to a race of reptilian humanoids called the Silurians in the science fiction TV series Doctor Who were said to have lived on Earth during that period.
So one thing that kind of got me into this, I'm a gamer. I would assume you two are as well.
No, we're not gay. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Have y'all ever played the Assassin's Creed series?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did y'all ever?
Sorry,
really...
my wife just bumped in here with my dog. And
is Tina in there right now?
No, Tina left the room. My little New York lady, she left the room.
Oh, that's mean, dude.
Did you make sure she had her coffee?
No, I didn't do that. She was in the garage.
In the garage. But anyways, so Assassin's Creed, like I said, super nerd moment because if the first couple of games they actually started kind of really diving into this idea of there being a race more advanced, obviously, than we are before, the genesis of humankind. That started kind of really playing with genetics and actually created humans as we are, the sapient species as we are now. They were called the Isu in that game, and they were not necessarily godlike, but as far as like humans were concerned, they were.
They were just more advanced than us.
Extremely so.
Yeah.
And I mean, they like I said, they started kind of playing with the DNA and creating humans as a subservient race. So the thought of that really, and I mean, they had actually come up with this hypothesis in the game. I mean, 10, 15 years ago. Not saying that the idea hasn't been around longer than that.
No, it's actually been around since Bob Lazar started blowing the whistle.
Correct.
I actually sent that to Evan, a little recording of an old interview of him from the 80s, where he was talking about how when he was there, when he started blowing the whistle on this stuff, which everything, I'm only bringing up Bob Lazar because of this goes hand in hand with it directly, but then also everything he has said thus far and his claims has proven to be 100% true.
Oh yeah.
So with that being said, he said that in the interview to who have never seen it, apparently there's like a stack of papers like this thick, front and back, tiny letters of all on religion. At Area S4 where he was working on UFOs, and apparently the aliens, the extraterrestrials, refer to us as containers. And then of course he went on stage, he's like, and then the interviewer was like, containers for what? He's like, oh no, souls, whatever. You make up whatever words you want to throw in there. He's like, that's how they refer to us. We are containers, and they want us to preserve the containers. That's it. So, anyways, continue on.
But yeah, like I said, they and I mean it was similar to that. Like so they made humans as a subservient race, and in the game there was a cataclysmic like solar flare is what kind of did them in. Or not that's actually what happened. I mean, the Assassin's Creed games, I love them because they're historically accurate as far as like the way they execute certain people, the times, all that kind of stuff.
Well, sorry, you just made me think of something actually kind of imperative to this conversation. Because there was a deal I came across like maybe 2 years ago where it was talking about they were trying to pull in stuff from aliens and like the Anunnaki and all that stuff, right? That whole Anunnaki theory and concept. There was a guy who I read this like whole long like article and page about how because they've been measuring, in the recent years, like past 100 years or since we've had the technology to do it, we've been monitoring like solar flares like emitting from like the sun. Well, there is documents like old, like, where they wrote with like a feather or with poop on their hand, whatever it was, thousands of years ago.
On a cave.
Yeah, where they have like where people had written talking about like basically describing a massive solar flare up in the sky, right? And this is around the time that supposedly the Anunnaki was around. And going off what you just said, if there was a massive solar flare, like, because, a lot of stuff you see in video games, they're pulling from stuff in real life that's been talked about. So it's like, if it's the solar flare concept, that kind of lines out with one of the things I read like 2 years ago, where this guy was saying like, yo, this is like, if you measure it up, it kind of makes sense, basically saying that the solar flare would have been what did the Anunnaki. And if it was that massive one and they had that advanced technology, it would have potentially, we've seen what happens. Like, we know what happened if we got a mass solar flare here. It would screw up our electrical grid. So, sorry, I just want to throw that in there.
No. And I mean, I was eventually going to come around to the Anunnaki because, similar to that, I mean, you've got to think of, as far as like across cultures, the whole alien theory, and I'm not saying that it's, government's finally come out and said that we've had visitors.
Yeah.
I mean, they've legitimately, during the whole 2020 nonsense, they actually released the document saying that we've been visited by a lot, but
unknown entities.
Yes. Well, I mean, they've actually...
They don't say ETs. They just say unknown entities.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, they've actually given names to several different races of them. But the Anunnaki, it seems like... So you've got to look across the board at, the alien theory. Again, not saying it's wrong, not saying it's correct. But you've got the Anunnaki, similar races in nearly every ancient culture.
Yeah.
Leading, you got the Incas, the Aztecs, the Egyptians, the Sumerians. Like, they've got Anunnaki-esque characters that are different looking than the alien type look, big heads, whatever else. Those
are known as the Greys.
Yeah, but they do have, every race has that too. But you've got to think, the Aztecs and the Incas had pyramids that were extremely similar to the Egyptians. They had no contact between the groups.
Yeah.
And the geometry between them, like I said, there's theories that are going around that the Anunnaki are similar and like descendants from the ancient Silurian theorem races. That they're, they still have some of the technology, they have some of the education, whatever else. And who's to say that the, race peoples, whatever you want to call it, before us that the theory proposes didn't leave Earth? Who's to say that they were here during the event? Who's to say that they, peace out, we gone, and went somewhere else?
Yeah. Evan looked like he was wanting to ask a question earlier. Or
I usually want to ask questions. So the Silurian hypothesis in general is always just a thought experiment, right? So they base it around as much science as they possibly can. And I've come across a few MIT and a few Harvard graduates who have written scientific documents on them. And they all cite the Drake equation, which if you would like, I could pop it up on the screen here, and
can you pop it up on the stream?
Yeah, I found like a really dumbed down version of it, which is fucking badass.
Is it already on the stream right now?
Yeah, I already have it popped up on the live stream here.
Okay,
because,
yeah, I remember actually seeing that.
As we all know, I'm not the smartest man in the world. So I found this breakdown of the Drake equation. As you see there, you have the N equals R to the multiplication power of whatever X, blah, blah, blah. It goes on for quite a while. If you see the graph in the very top, says somewhere certain to extremely uncertain. So they're basing these things off of facts and theories just for scientific purposes in general. If we're talking about species that have once lived on here, it's almost guaranteed that there has been a species that has lived on Earth before us that has been either more intelligent or as intelligent, just based on mathematics alone.
Oh yeah.
The question that comes into play is, where were they? How do we find them? What were they? Like, why did they die? Like, what happened? So that comes into like the carbon dating. The way that they'll find us in a million years is based around this Drake equation and off of carbon 12 that is enriched because humans produce a lot of carbon.
Well, go
The
ahead.
number of, I'm sorry, you go right ahead.
No, you're fine, buddy. Go ahead. You're on a roll. I'll step out of your way.
Based around this this equation here, it's taking the factors of the stars in the galaxies, the planetary systems around us, which is all factual. We can find those easily, and then it's put it into factors such as like the possibility of intelligent life, which we then put into things like Stonehenge and other like large objects that have been created and have been around for a long time, like the pyramids and other things like that. And then they just also put in a length of time, which is always just a theory, the length of time.
Can I want to add, sorry, go ahead. Sorry. Finish what you're saying. I didn't mean to interrupt.
So to make that full circle, I'm sure the two of you have heard about the Black Knight satellite, which came from the Butez. I'm sorry, which they theorize comes from the Butez star cluster in our sky. They have found out that it has sent, quote unquote, sent a message to us that says, "Hi, how are you? We've been watching for a while," and so on and so forth.
You know, the first person to discover the Black Knight satellite was actually Nikola Tesla, and he claimed
That's
that
correct.
it was sending messages to us, because it was the way that so a lot of astronomers and scientists, when they were monitoring the Black Knight satellite as it was around Earth or near Earth, because I believe it was like floating in orbit or whatever at one point, right, Evan? It was
It was
in our orbit.
It was going in retrograde, which we didn't figure out how to even fly in retrograde until the 80s. And we've been going in prograde, which is, I believe it's west to east, and retrograde is east to west. So something flying in the opposing way that we've only done the math for is crazy.
Well, and then on top of that, they had when they analyzed it, I forgot the name of that scientist. He was on Rogan's podcast like a couple.
Yeah, he was an
ago or
astronaut.
something.
Yeah,
he had said that when they were analyzing the Black Knight satellite, which for some reason, and I think he says in a different interview, not with Rogan, but another one, saying like, I don't get why why this isn't being talked about, because he was explaining that this Black Knight satellite, when they were analyzing it with what it looks like, they're looking at this thing, with pictures, telescopes, everything.
Yeah.
He was like, this was a cylinder. It was basically like a cylinder shaped object.
Like obviously designed.
He's like, this is not a natural made object.
Yeah.
He's like, this was crafted. You can tell it's crafted due to, and he explains it because he's also an engineer. Like, this guy knows his stuff. He's like, no, this is crafted. And then on top of that, he was going on to talk about how this thing was like, when something's in orbit for so long, especially of where it was when they finally we had the technology to actually like monitor it, truly monitor it. Basically, it was course correcting to stay in a certain orbit of the Earth.
Yeah.
Because they were explaining, like, and they showed a diagram of like how the orbits go when you're in these certain grades and trajectories. Like, no, this thing would have never even stayed in our orbit for X amount of time, but it stayed in our orbit, and it was obviously something with the craft, was making it stay in this particular fashion. And it's not like it was floating like sideways and keeping the same position like this,
like a satellite.
Yeah. Like satellite, when it goes around the Earth, it still stays. So when it passes, it's like, okay, Earth's on my backside if you're looking out of a satellite.
Yeah.
From a porthole over here. This thing was staying nose. The nose was keeping it
almost like telescoped straight into the planet.
Like same fixed position all the way around. But it was altering itself to keep that viewpoint towards the Earth, which was and he had said, he was like, that is the wildest thing. Like, that right there was the last domino. He was like, no, this is intentional. is intelligently moving. This is not a just a random piece of rock or debris. And he also said, sorry, and this is the last thing I'll say about the Black Knight satellite. But no, this is important information.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I know that with the Black Knight satellite, is that the other than its intelligence of moving, right? He was saying that the images that you look like, if you Google the Black Knight satellite right now, you're gonna come up with some weird looking, like kind of like cigar shape, but like looks like a rock, and it's all misshaped, and it looks naturally eroded.
Yeah.
He's like, those are all bullshit photos.
Oh yeah.
He's like, that's not what we were looking at. He's like, all that stuff is being
Literally
doctored
yeah.
and pulled down. And of course, to answer a question to all the people out there going like, well, if people uploaded the video or upload the photo, how come this? Like, do you not understand who created the internet? Do you not understand who governs the servers? Do you not understand that every single major website you go to, you know whose talons are sunken into them?
Big Brother is always watching.
Big Brother is literally grouped in to Google, Microsoft Edge, everything, Firefox, you name it. Every
Absolutely
single
everything.
main search engine that's out there that everyone uses is literally governed by the government. They have their talents in. So I just want to make sure to say that.
Well, and one reason why I kind of think that, they didn't necessarily get completely wiped out, but they probably went somewhere else. You've got to think that whenever we are looking at a different planet, we're looking at it from the past. And I mean, that would be the same concept as any planet looking at us. Like, there's planets that are way out there, like that particular one, that would be looking at Earth and be seeing, dinosaurs and, early man.
Yeah.
If they original, I'll just go ahead and refer to them as the Isu just because that's just what's in my head. If the supposed Isu people they left Earth knowing that we were here prior, they would know, hey, let's see how far they've advanced since we've left. Like let's go ahead and, see what our children have done since we left the planet. Again, if anybody's looking at us from way out there, generally speaking, like I said, they're going to see dinosaurs. They're going to see a bunch of guys dragging clubs and beating each other with sticks, as opposed
Still
to
doing that.
Well, I mean, we are, but we just got bigger sticks. But like, how would they know if they weren't originally here to see where we're at? To send, the Black Knight satellite out here to take a look at us and monitor us.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I'm kind of on, yes, there may have been a cataclysmic event that probably knocked them out. And I mean, not to go super nerd Superman level, but like, what if that were the case? Whereas, hey, we've got a select few of these people that, can maintain our civilization, but we only have enough people, enough room on ship A, B, and C for 100 people total.
Yeah.
And it completely wiped out the rest of civilization, and they just like peaced out, like, we're gone.
Deuces.
And then went somewhere else and settled somewhere
Evan
else.
looks like he's about to say something.
He had a big grin on his face.
Yeah,
so.
I'm just waiting for a pause in the conversation.
Oh, dude, you just gotta like force your way in.
Yeah. Just put a little spit on it and jump in.
Yeah, just got to be a dick going into an asshole here.
So
Frosted turd. All right.
You're on,
Oh, yeah.
you're on the side of the Black Knight satellite is from a other like galactic being, because I'm on the side that it is a vessel that was given to us by a species that already lived on planet Earth, and they're just saying, hey, we existed, you come visit this, and we will show you what's going on and tell you about our history, just like we did with our satellite that we sent out to the cosmos, Voyager, right?
That's the direction I'm going with it, is that they were here. And like I said, they, A, B, and C ships only could fit 100 people, and they went somewhere else as the cataclysmic event wiped out the rest of the civilization.
The only thing that doesn't make sense with that would be the fact that this thing, Nikola Tesla noticed it because he was looking at it through a telescope.
Yeah.
And he saw it. This is back in the late 1800s.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Why is that? Why is that? What?
Because it makes, the way I'm seeing it in my head is, if what you were saying, Evan, to your point, like, like your narrative, where you were saying like, oh, they came here to like, hey, we're gonna give this to you. Come here, come check this stuff out. Well, it's like, why would they, why would they do that when we were like literally, I don't know. It just time frame wise, it just doesn't compute in my head because
No,
we
I
are
mean,
primitive
it's
fucks.
it's. Let's say it's been sitting there for 13,000, 20,000 years, and we noticed it whenever Nikola Tesla did. That's what I'm saying. Is
Oh, okay, I got
it's
you.
been
I'm
sitting
sorry.
there all of this time, and we finally like, wait, what the fuck is that thing up there? That's
Sorry,
not supposed to be
misun-
there.
I misunderstood you.
Like,
I'm
what
sorry.
if it's a remnant of that pre-existing civilization? Like, as
So
they're,
that's
like I said,
what-
they're piecing out, they drop this off, like, hey, we're going to leave this here
Or
to
it was already
monitor.
there.
There is that too. But I mean, if they're an advanced civilization, and like I said, we were here before they left, who's to say that they didn't just drop it off to keep monitoring
Yeah.
us?
What were you gonna say, Evan?
Exactly. So that's what Jacques Vallée says. He is the individual who was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he is an individual who was in front of the American Congress. He's a French guy who is saying that they are hiding something based around it because whenever he was a young man, he he was outspoken about the satellite, the Black Knight satellite, being part of another civilization, and he had video and all of these things of the Black Knight satellite. And he remembers giving it over to his boss at his computer science laboratory as an engineer, as a ufologist, and as an astronomer. And they took it and deleted the entire evidence of it. And they threw it away and said, "You don't need to know about this."
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. And then also, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Keep going. I kept the camera on you. I saw you.
no,
You're
you're
like,
good.
you
I
did a
was
little
just,
head
I
bob,
was-
sassy little stepdad. Sorry, stepdad. Just
well, son, you need to make sure you listen to me and never interrupt me
sorry,
again.
Sorry, I'm gonna
You
interrupt
understand
you.
Beat you with a bag full
I'm
of
gonna
bars of
interrupt you
soap.
now, though. I'm gonna interrupt you now, though. I
It's gonna
like
be
to
onions.
I like to call out Evan when he does his stepdad look because he's done that before, and he does that when he gets frustrated because he's like, "Brr." And it's just like he gives you that disappointed fucking look,
Yeah, I know
and
that
it's
look.
like, it does hurt to see it like that's worse.
Stings a little bit.
Yeah, I know. That's like, that hurts so much worse than like, dude, what the fuck? Come on.
Yeah,
like
you just straighten up. No, it's the disappointment look.
But
like,
that fucking just half the time he crosses his arms and just like
Well, I got the heater in here now, so I don't have to cross my arms and hug myself for warmth. I got my hand warmers. I got them tucked around every little area. This looks like a little tea bag.
Speaking of tea bags, anyways. sorry,
No,
Dad. Keep going.
But yeah, that Jacques Vallée fella, he was very outspoken about the Black Knight satellite being thousands and thousands of years old and that they're hiding something about it. He blatantly was out in the open saying that they have been to the Black Knight satellite. They have been inside of it and didn't like what they found and left.
oh yeah,
Did he elaborate
So
on what they
no.
found?
No, he did not, because his only information about it is videotaping it, seeing that it's sending out a message, and then them getting rid of it all. So,
Oh, jeez. Well, is there anything else you were about to add? Because there was something I was going to add on to what you're talking about.
basically, my whole point about the Black Knight satellite is that it is like pure evidence of the Silurian hypothesis being valid. Simple as that.
Yeah, to some degree.
because it's been here
sure.
for so long.
Yeah.
Like basically monitoring our growth as a species.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what I was going to add to it was I was going to bring up Babelzar one more time because it was it was another interview where
Oh,
he
yeah.
talked about the whole religion thing,
Uh-huh.
and not to hurt anyone's feelings who are religious
I'm
or anything
offended.
like that. It's just something to think about
Mhm.
because you don't know where this shit actually
No.
came from besides some fictional spaghetti monster, right? Like that's the whole concept behind it.
I want spaghetti now.
I know spaghetti sounds.
That's what
good,
that jellyfish floating around was the other day.
Oh, dude, that jellyfish video was. You see it go.
It was the flying
invisible and
spaghetti
stuff.
monster.
Yeah. But no, just to add on to it, he had said that the religion apparently was created by them
Mhm.
of all kinds. They didn't care what different variations they were. They wanted a religion. They wanted a structure put in place that would keep the containers in their best condition possible.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, with that being said, it's like if it lines up with everything with pretty much every religion, because
Mhm.
every religion has some type of structure in it where it's like, like all these like choices, like healthy choices, all these habits for
Yeah.
like keeping yourself healthy and
Your body is a
pristine,
temple.
and your body is a temple. Yeah, like because I know like LDS, like Mormons.
Mine's haunted, so
Mine's haunted.
decrepit and falling apart.
Yeah, but they I
I
know
got
with
the
like
crypt creeper walking around there, ghouls and goblins.
I know with like Mormons, they do the whole concept of your body's temple. That's why they don't do caffeine. That's why you're not supposed to drink alcohol. That's why you're not supposed to smoke. You're not supposed to get tattoos. You're not supposed to do like all these things. You're supposed to treat your body as if it's this super sacred thing. When I was a kid growing up, I always just thought it was like, oh, you guys just aren't fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, that was a joke. But no, in all reality, stuff like that. So it plays into it. All this just intertangles into each other, and it's just that popped into my head because of everything we've been talking about, just kind of going in the flow of it. So.
Well, here's something else that'll kind of blow your mind on the religion side of it. So, you know that there are actually books in the Bible that have been omitted that would actually change the outlook of the entire Christian theology.
Can you hold that thought real quick?
Got it.
Hold it. Oh, dang. You actually acted it out,
Hey,
dude.
dude,
I'm gonna have to
held
hold
it.
this one. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to hold this because I will lose it.
You really grabbed
Hold
that. Oh my goodness. I would like to take a quick sidebar real fast and turn the time over to Evan.
Oh, hi, everybody. This must be this time of the episode where we do a little bit of housekeeping. So thank you all for listening this far into it and liking and subscribing. So if you haven't done that, make sure you go and do that. Go to YouTube, like and subscribe. Go to our Spotify, follow us there. And if you are on TikTok, watch our short little videos over on TikTok. Soon we'll be doing live videos, much like our buddy Blake here is doing for us today. So feel free to come on, stop by, like it, subscribe it. And that's about it. We'll have a website pretty much in the next couple of weeks, I imagine, right, Ben?
Yes. We will have a website up here in basically 3 weeks, I guess it would be. Somewhere or close to 4 weeks. Anyway, it's very soon. It will happen. I was trying to get it done in December and then holidays and things. So it all got pushed off. But just to add on to what Evan just said about if you're liking our TikToks and stuff, if you're looking for a link for YouTube, it's actually on our TikTok page as well. So on our main page up at the top where it would say Smartly Uneducated, just down below that, or it says, I believe it says our handle for TikTok is the Smartly Uneducated Pod. That is our handle for TikTok. For YouTube, if you are on TikTok and you want to find us through there, we have our YouTube linked to our TikTok at the top of the page. And then on top of that, if you are not on TikTok, all you have to do is search for Smartly Uneducated. Smartly space uneducated. Oh, and shoot us an email. We love talking to people. Shoot us an email at smartlyuneducated@gmail.com. Anyways, back to Blake. Do you still have that thought held?
I do.
That's
There you
amazing.
go.
Like I said, not to go down the religion route too much, but like there are books within the Bible that have been omitted, that have been stated that they could completely change the Christian theology, like from the contents of them. Nephilim, giants, all that kind of stuff. Who's to say that they weren't from the original, race, whatever else?
Or just other genetic experiments.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, again, I'm not saying it's aliens or whatever else, because, the theology is that the human race as a whole were genetic experiments, and we just happen to adapt and, I hate to use this word, but evolve over time to the race that we are now. But here's some food for thought. Have y'all seen and remember the old Disney Atlantis, The Lost Empire?
Yeah.
So Atlantis has been a long sought theory for a long time too, from Homer. And we have no idea what happened to it, no idea where it went. In all accounts, it was always an advanced civilization there too. What if it were a remnant of the precursor race?
Yeah, I've heard that theory. But in recent times, there's this guy. He actually, I think I don't remember. Evan, do you remember how this guy got noticed? Was it his TikTok or Instagram where he was putting out videos about the Eye of the Sahara? I think is what it's called, and laying it out of that potentially being truly where Atlantis used to be due to the geological layout, and also with the description from what was it? What was that Greek guy? His description in the old
It was Homer.
it was a Homer.
Homer was the
Or
one that
Pluto.
It was
actually
Homer.
Plato.
Plato.
Yeah,
Pluto,
Plato.
not the dog.
Plato. Pluto. But no, Plato's description of Atlantis was it had like a hot and cold spring in the center, and it had those
Mhm.
rings going out of land. So it
Mhm.
basically looked like a target
Yeah.
map. Only the landforms were the rings
Yeah.
that you would see. And the Eye of the Sahara. Would you mind pulling up a picture of the Eye of Sahara?
It's
And put
pretty
it in the
wild
stream
how-
for me.
Pretty wild how close that looks.
Yeah, and it looks very similar. And then the thing is about the Eye of the Sahara, or just the Sahara Desert in general, is the Sahara Desert used to be underwater.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in the Sahara, you will come across all the sand, endless sand everywhere. You will come across seashells. They found full whale bones, like a full skeletal structure of
Mhm.
whales and other aquatic life. Let me jump over to the stream.
I don't know. This is not a very good image,
that's
but
not a good one. But that guy was spreading out because he was
Yeah.
huge research into it. He did such a good job that people really noticed, and they're like, "Oh shit, that actually makes sense."
Mm-hmm.
Atlantis may not be some thing in the ocean that we know about now, buried somewhere.
But it was.
Yeah, it was out in the ocean.
And I mean, you got to think
At
about how
one
long
point in
ago
time.
Plato was, and the way he describes it was a massive earth-shaking like rumble.
Yeah.
And it just disappeared.
I wonder if the rings were actually sorry, this is going to alien.
I mean, it's kind of all
it
tied
always
together.
goes.
Well, it's just if you think about it, if there was the way the description is like all of a sudden it was gone. Well, that could have meant there was some type of cataclysm, maybe a massive earthquake, a crazy earthquake, or whatever, some crazy magnitude, or it was actually a ship. Like you ever seen? I hate to bring up Star Trek, but you ever seen Deep Space Nine? You remember that show?
A little bit, yeah.
The way the space station
Mhm.
looked, the
Yeah.
ring, the giant like ring looking thing.
Mhm.
Imagine that only as Atlantis.
Yeah.
And it had more layers of rings in it, and it were
And like it was only
that concept.
partly
Do you have the-
submerged.
yeah. Do you have the
I
thing?
do have,
up?
I do have a better photo pulled up now. Yes.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
looking at that,
Yeah,
like
because I can see mainland and then the mainland and the rings right there. How that would be. And I mean, you know, that's pretty accurate as the description that Plato had.
yeah. And they say in the center there, not that white spot. Apparently, if you zoom, there was another picture of it that was taken by a satellite, and when you zoom into the dead center of it, you literally there's sand, or not sand, salt, and other minerals that come out of these natural hot springs.
Yeah.
Where it would turn it all white, and oh yeah, dude, it's wild because those hot springs, like when they like dry out or they're no longer functional, they'll
Mineral deposits and
it'll basically turn everything white, and
Mhm.
that's what's in the center of this thing, and that's what would have been in Atlantis according to Plato's description. So I don't know, man. I'd be inclined to think that may be of where it was. I
Mhm.
mean, that's so far that produces the most evidence
well,
out
I mean,
of all the things.
and like you said, you know, at one point in time that was underwater. And I mean, you got to think about how long ago Plato was there and the way he described it. You know, like I said, massive explosion, and it just vanished. Where he was,
Solar flare.
but I mean, that's, you know,
Oh, where did Evan go?
he ran away and joined the circus.
I'm still here.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Sorry, I thought I lost you for a second. I just realized I still had your
I joined the
stream.
circus, as Blake says.
It's okay. We found Evan.
Ran away.
Do you? There's something I'm gonna bring up since we're talking about the Greeks, but I'm gonna wait to do that, and I want to ask Evan. That's why I have the camera on him.
I'm still here.
What is out of everything with the Silurian theory? What is the most alarming thing or curiosity type thing that goes through your head when you're looking into this stuff because I know me and you have talked on numerous subjects on this kind of concept. We've just never done the Silurian theory. So what is something that really piques your mind about it for it to provoke more? You know what I mean?
To provoke more, you said?
Yeah, provoke more to go down the rabbit hole because it's catching you and it's pulling you in.
I mean, as I'm sure a lot of our listeners and people who are following and watching along know about the Antikythera. That thing is highly intelligent
That's what I was gonna
mechanism that
bring
the
up.
Greeks made in the 2nd century, which is fucking wild. So if they are able to create such a highly intelligent mechanism back then with just metal and cogs and things like that, there's no telling what a million years ago was being created. There's proper evidence that there was intelligent life here, and not let me rephrase that, not intelligent life like animals and fish and blah 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 blah. So if a cataclysmic event, which we know our Earth goes through on a regular basis, has cleared out and completely wiped out different things and species, I don't know. It racks my brain. It also makes me think about what we are leaving behind. Plastic deteriorates, metal deteriorates, radiation will eventually deteriorate.
Well, that goes into the whole Silurian theory, because that is one of the scientific processes they would use to find out if there was an ancient civilization. They would, because you brought up plastic, they're like, oh, well, we would look for evidence of processes that are only something you could construct through that type of industrial, like work, right? Like of advanced technology. The only way these properties and these elements get this way is by a physical intervention by a third entity of intelligence. So
yeah, industrial complex, right?
Yeah, and that's how you brought up the plastic. That is one of the things they mentioned in the Silurian theory, for what they would look for. They would look for things that would produce something similar to that, like based off where we are scientifically. You look back and look at that. But you also brought up the Antikythera, which is just to give context on what that is, and people know what that is, because that's what I was going to jump into next. But Evan beat me to it. Thanks a lot, Evan. You butthole.
Way to go.
Welcome.
That's why we can't talk about nice things.
Oh, what was that, Evan?
Well,
what was that?
I'm over here jerking off and making fun of you. What can I say?
Oh, I'm so
wait, what? You're telling me that I can't bring up things that are on my head, brother? Wait, what, dude? Come on now.
He goes into this mode where he talks like this randomly. He goes full peacock.
Full peacock. Ooh.
Can you go full peacock again, please? Is it about Meghan Markle, right? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, he's done it again.
He's done did it.
But no, it's just so people know what the Antikythera mechanism is. So it is an ancient Greek hand-powered orrery, basically a model of the solar system, described as the oldest known example of an analog computer. And it was used to predict astronomical positions and eclipses decades in advance. It could be also used to track the 4-year cycle of athletic games, similar to an Olympiad, the cycle of the ancient Olympic Games. That's what an Olympiad is. But they found this thing. It was an artifact among wreckage retrieved from a shipwreck off the coast of the Greek island Antikythera in 1901. And in 1902, it was identified by archaeologist Valerios Stais as containing a gear. And then they have pictures of it. I would ask you to pull up the pictures because I can't populate that. But you can see what it looks like, because it was in a shipwreck, so it was sitting there rotting in the ocean for a long time. But it literally is a man-made construct. What was that?
Do you want the re-rendered one, or do you want the destroyed one first?
I would do the destroyed one so we can show what was recovered, and then we can do the re-rendering.
The wild part about that. whenever this thing was created, or when they estimated it was created, they were still under the assumption that the Earth was flat and the Earth was the center of the solar system.
Well, the Greeks
Mhm.
didn't. The Greeks. Whoa. When that thing was conceived, so it even
Yes.
predated when the Greeks
Yes.
claimed it was round.
So you got to think that Galileo was the one that originally designed, figured out, hey, we're not the center of the solar system. Galileo Galilei
Mhm.
was the one that was like, hey, sun's the center, we rotate around it. The planets are circular, they're not flat, because at that point in time, whenever the Greeks were around, they didn't have telescopes.
Mm.
They were still reading time by sun on, sundials.
Mhm.
So at the point in time that this thing was designed and created was way advanced for the timing that it should have been.
Yeah.
Because if you're still reading things, yes, we have summer, winter, fall, spring, all that kind of stuff. But to be able to gauge off the stars and all that to the extent that this thing was, you would have to understand astrology to a much higher tier than what the Greeks were actually at
Yeah.
at that point in time.
Yeah. 100%.
So, I mean, this is definitely, like I said, there's no way that they came up with this on their own. Which there's something else really interesting that came up around the same time.
I'm gonna pull up the picture though. I'm gonna switch over to that
Yeah.
so we can see it. You can keep talking, but that's the gear.
That's what they found out of the
That's
ship.
what they found in the ship.
But the Vikings had something similar to it. Not necessarily as far as a gear, but they were actually using I'm trying to think of what it was called, but there was a particular like geode crystal that they were using similar to that and similar to a sextant way before they were designed.
Hell yeah, brother.
And I mean, given it was kind of like sticks and stones type deal, but I mean, at the same time, that's way advanced.
Yeah.
Way advanced for what it was.
You said that there was a re-rendered version of that wheel.
Yeah, so somebody has manipulated it and found out what it would have looked like in today's world.
I've seen it.
Wow.
It actually, it's pretty wild
I have not seen it.
because, you got to
At
think
all.
the one we're looking at is like thousands of years of corrosion.
All right, I'll switch over to that so we can see what it looks
So this is
like.
a pretty low quality image, but this is what they anticipated it looked like, a box, if you will.
Oh shit. It's
So,
interesting.
like I said, looking at that, that's, they're gauging off of, essentially Galileo's theories on planetary structure and stuff for that particular design.
Yeah.
At the time that it was designed with the ancient Greeks, like I said, they were still the center of the universe. They still only had, 5 or 6 planets.
No, for sure. And then they also found, other than this, they did find, what was it that, you know what I'm talking about, Evan. Me and you talked about it back on our old platform before we started Smartly Uneducated.
MySpace?
It was MySpace, bro.
Yeah, it was Zanga, dude. It was Zanga.
We need to bring back MySpace. But
Agreed.
it was a watch. It literally was a watch.
Mhm.
And it was like a wristwatch. They found a wristwatch that was inside of a sealed old like basically vault from that hadn't been opened
Mhm.
in, I don't remember, thousands of years or something. It was something insane. And when it was, they finally archaeologists finally open it under a controlled environment.
Yeah.
There's only one way in and out of this place. There was no other way in. They found a watch, and then the watch was, you're doing wrong. It showed its age.
Swiss.
Yeah, pretty much. If anything, I think it might have been a Swiss watch. But the watch obviously had started decaying over time.
Yeah.
But it was still intact. It was basically fossilized, and it built all this grime that had hardened on top of the metal.
It's crazy.
But it was actually a watch. It was real. So it's just like, how is that not evidence enough? If we know that this thing, it has literally all the stuff built on it from sitting for thousands of years, and it was legitimate, ended up not being a hoax. It was very real. So it's just like, okay, well, if that's the case, why the fuck aren't people talking about this more? Why aren't people going like, holy shit? Like, is there time travel? Like, pose the questions. Time travel exist? Or is this from a previous civilization? Or is this maybe aliens showed us how to make watches? Who fucking knows?
Do you want me to blow your mind real fast on the time travel thing? And it still
I'm
kind of
always
ties
game
in.
for you to blow me. Let's go.
Hey, it's not a full moon yet, Ben. Don't go full werewolf.
Don't go full werewolf.
Go half werewolf. Mm.
They call that being bi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dipping your toe in it. So everybody theorizes that time travel is, jumping from now to back then. And I mean, even, the book, what was it? The Time Machine is always going back and forth in time. Who's to say that we didn't have somebody that went from the past to now and then back? So a lot of the
So
technology,
role reversal here. You're saying
Yes.
it's not about coming from the future, it's about coming from the past.
and then going back.
So like a little time machine action, like the book,
So-
The Time Machine.
Yes. So the largest library that we have ever had was the Library of Alexandria,
Mhm.
correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes, the one that burnt down and we lost untold amounts of knowledge.
Burnt down.
Yes.
Supposedly,
Sorry.
quote, unquote.
No,
I didn't have the camera on me. Burnt down.
Yes. But there's untold amounts of technology, knowledge, theorems that were in that particular library, possibly even precursor. So
Mhm.
who's to say that they didn't have the technology then to time travel? And that's where some of this stuff originally came from. And because we lost all of it and have never really been able, because I mean, you've got to think in the Greek times when the Library of Alexandria was around, they had Greek fire.
Fire bad.
We've never been able to reproduce it. There is no known.
Wait. What do you mean?
So Greek fire was what they used during like naval battles, and like, how certain fluids will burn on water.
Mhm.
Again, way before its time, Greek fire would actually burn hotter on water. Water wouldn't put it
Like
out,
it
and it was
accelerated.
it was a gelatin as well, and they've
Yeah, it
never
was
been
an
able to reproduce
it was
it.
an incendiary weapon. Incendiary weapon. It would like shoot
They would
fire.
they would
like
they would use it to
napalm
burn out
almost.
ships. Yeah,
Whoa.
and like they completely lost the schematics for it, and we've never been able to reproduce it because if you look back at like,
Well, I mean, we made a nuclear bomb, so I think that kind of tropes all that.
I mean,
shit.
it does, but at the same
Saying.
time, considering same thing as the Antikythera mechanism, way before its time, way before, because like
Hey
he
man,
said,
you know what else we also made?
Sex dolls.
Lyme disease, borealis, all that stuff. Plum Island. Check out the previous episode. They do all kinds of fucked up shit on that thing, and they did a bunch of it. And they Lone Star ticks. They're coming after your balls. Anyways, back to you.
Makes me sad.
But like
What was that, Evan?
that
what was
makes me
that?
sad.
Oh, my bad. Oh,
leave my testiculars alone.
ticks on their balls. Well, what
Yeah,
if it's
ticks
a
on my
white
balls and
dotted
ticks
tick?
coming from me. They hunt you down. These fucking Lone Star ticks, dude.
Those
I'm
fucking
tired of 'em.
bastards.
Tired
What
of 'em.
what about what I mean? What about them and your balls is unpleasant? Is it the fact that they're white, or would you prefer a black one?
I mean, if I can get like a brown tick on there, that'd be preferred. The white ones blend in too
Did you
well.
say a brown tick, dude? Stop being
Yeah.
racist.
Wow.
Jeez.
Wow.
Oh my
The white ones
gosh.
blend in. I can't see them. I want to feel it, dude. Come on.
Wow.
Wow, dude. Anyway, sorry, I stole it from you. Keep
Completely
going.
deviate. But like I said, I mean, who's to say that they didn't have precursor technology in the Library of Alexandria? And I mean, this kind of goes back to, the same idea that Big Brother's watching. There could have been technology there that, the government then didn't want around.
Mhm.
Because like I said, Greek fire, game changer for naval battles. I mean,
Yeah.
people, they would catch people on fire and they could jump in the water and it wouldn't put it out.
You know,
Mhm.
there was that. I know that. I believe it was Japan that they used. It was a mixture. It was a concoction. This is from. Like we're talking like before 1000 AD.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking like early hundreds.
Yeah.
A year frame wise, and they used a mixture of I want to say it was whale fat, and it was like whale fat and something else. It was fat
Mm-hmm.
with a natural I want to say it was whale fat. I know whale fat was in it, but they would also use a natural occurring element, which was like a liquid came from the ground, so like some form of natural forming, like
Like
kind of like how
sulfur.
we find oil or
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't oil, but it naturally is in the ground over in Japan at the time
Mhm.
because they described it, and it's not oil. Or oils we're talking about how
Yeah,
we-
but I mean,
we-
it's a
we want-
similar substance.
similar substance, and they would mix the two together. I wonder if that's what it was, like what we're talking about right now, because they said that they didn't use the word gel, but if you look up the stuff about it, it basically makes this material when it's mixed together, however
Mhm.
they mix it, it becomes this kind of like goopy
Yeah,
stuff, like where you can actually
like an adhesive.
you can like manhandle it a little bit, and it doesn't just like, it's not like putting your hands in water and lift up.
Yeah,
I wonder if that may be something similar
it
to it,
might have been
because now it didn't burn more efficiently on water.
yeah,
It didn't do that. It would burn still because it was like, it would float on
like
the
a
surface.
napalm. Yeah,
Yeah, like a napalm, exactly. It would float on
Mhm.
the surface, but eventually it would go out over, at a faster rate from
Mhm.
being on the water. But it would still stay lit for an extended period of time
Oh,
on
yeah.
the water. So I don't know. I'm just thinking of things.
yeah, just tie-ins.
Yeah.
But like, back to my original thought though. I mean, who's to say that we didn't have precursor technology and information in the Library of Alexandria?
Oh, I agree.
Because, like I said, the Antikythera mechanism.
Can I quote Indiana Jones, please? Because every time you say Alexandria, it makes me want to quote Sean Connery from The Last Crusade. He's like, Alexandretta! You guys know what I'm talking about?
Dude, you just
It's been so long
peaked
since I said
so
it.
bad. I have no idea what you said. You just peaked
Come on,
so bad.
no Indiana Jones fans here? Like, what's going on
I
here?
got it. I got
What-
it. It's just been a long time since I've
yeah.
seen that one, but yeah.
I love
Love those.
Indy. I have no idea what you just said. You just peaked.
I loved Indy up until Last Crusade. After that, no. I'm not into
come on,
watching
Crystal
rape
Skull.
movies.
Did you
Crystal
know that
Skull.
the Greeks had petroleum so they could mix that into the fire? And they used sulfur and petroleum to make the Greek fire, by the way.
Oh, did they?
Wait, are you talking about the thing that they couldn't do anymore?
No, we can still we figured it out. It's just petroleum. They use petroleum. But
They
Damn,
used-
petroleum is a
how did
natural
they get
occurring
their
thing.
How did they get their hands on petroleum?
I know, it's so slippery.
That's what
This
I wanna
oil,
know.
it's like it's so slippery.
Okay,
They were
so
very moisturized. I'll tell you what.
so basically you just did a fact check, is what you're saying. So apparently
Yeah, I
we
did a
did
fact
figure
check.
it out.
All right,
We
well, this
did
has been
figure it
fun. I'm out.
Oh, he was like, "Fuck, I'm done. I'm done."
But
Look at the look
the
of shame on
exact-
him. Yeah, that's
the
right.
exact composition, the exact measurements they used, we don't know. But we know that they used petroleum
Ha,
and
in your
more than
face.
likely sulfur.
Is
Yeah,
that
because
hey,
sulfur
whoa,
is
sulfur. I've watched Supernatural. I know
Demons.
what demons do, what they leave behind. Sulfur.
Come.
It's not sulfur. I've been passing gas.
Oh shit!
You farted. And you
It's
wait,
a-
hold on.
it's
Like
a
you
small
come on this
room.
podcast and you start ripping ass. How dare you
Oh
not
my
pick that up on
God.
my
Hey, you
Next
wanna
time,
talk
talk into the mic.
Here.
You want to talk about ripping ass on a podcast? So we shout out to Whitney. We had on our old platform before we started over. Myself, the layout was different in here. My desk was on where you were sitting,
Mhm.
and I was sitting there, and the casting couch was right behind me. And freaking all of a sudden, Evan was like, I don't remember what brought it up, but all of a sudden, Evan was like, "Oh, I have to fart," and then Whitney was just like, "Then fart," and he just blew ass. It was loud, and just so people understand, we're in a tiny room. This is a studio I built in my garage, and he blew ass, and then Whitney blew ass.
How dare you throw me under the bus like that, Ben? Everybody knows that you're the one farting in there. There's no way in hell my body can produce such a
can taste it.
massive propellant.
You know,
Onions and peanut butter.
onions and peanut butter. You know, Evan. The reason why the evidence is still here in this studio is
You left
because,
skid marks.
yeah, that's why the casting couch got given to the dogs.
Ben,
What were
you're
you
the
gonna
only one in that room more than I am. If you're farting in there, blame it on me. That's okay. But
No.
don't you go and besmirch my name by saying that I farted. How dare you?
You know what, man? When I was locked into this dungeon of a studio for 8.5 months, I can tell you right now that what it stank like in here was not butt. It smelled much worse. It was the smell of someone who whose pheromones were mutating the darkness.
Ooh.
And it wasn't like a cool backstory like, oh, I am the night, I am becoming Batman. It's more of, Evan, why are you waving your hand?
I'm saying continue. I want to hear the story. Continue.
I'm giving the story. Sir, wait your turn, you somewhat bearded man.
Somewhat bearded man.
He's missing his burliness. He
kinda
shaved
miss
his
mine.
beard off a while ago, and it's finally coming back.
I'm gonna have to actually shave when I get home tomorrow. I got work Monday.
But you're clean shaven already.
No, I've got to be cleaner shaven.
We like sandpaper when we kiss men. We don't like not having rough faces to touch. Anyways, but no,
I want to be stuck to my partner's face like Velcro when I kiss. If I have to rip my face off, that is pleasure. Smooth, silky rubbing is not good for me. I like it when I get stuck.
Whoa.
That's
Wow.
it.
What just happened to your voice? It just like this. It was like it wanted to capture it, but you hit the limiter, and it just cut you off, but gave a little.
When we kiss and it doesn't go. When we're done, I don't want it.
Dude, you know how I know it's the right length for my beard? You want to know how I know? Is because whenever I kiss my wife, when she screams in agony from her skin being ripped off and sanded away, that's how I know. When there's more blood on my face, that's not mine. That's how I know.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. Evan?
Yeah, me
you?
too. There are so many jokes that came out of there, Ben. I'm just gonna leave that alone.
Get me
Arm's
freaking
length on that
banned on TikTok real fast and in a hurry then.
Whoa. Sorry, I just realized there was a fact about the Antikythera mechanism that I overlooked. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye. Did you know, and this is a fact, so in 2008, a team from Cardiff University used computer X-ray tomography and high-resolution scanning to image inside fragments of the crust-encased mechanism and read the faintest inscriptions that once covered the outer casing. This suggests it had 37 meshing bronze gears, enabling it to follow the movements of the moon and the sun through the zodiac, to predict eclipses and to model the irregular orbit of the moon, where the moon's velocity is higher in its perigee than its apogee. This motion was studied in the 2nd century BC by astronomer Hipparchus of Rhodes, and he may have been consulted in the machine's construction. So basically, I just thought it was really fascinating that they figured out, they found through doing these x-rays, had 37 meshing bronze gears.
Well, and if you go further on that too, it also goes down to talk about the 5 classical planets. So it was actually basing it not necessarily off of just the moon, but as well as the planets.
Yeah.
Which again, I estimated with 6 earlier, but there were only 5 that they were going off of.
Yeah, it also says right here, it says the mechanism is, it said there is speculation that a portion of the mechanism is missing, and it calculated the positions of the 5 classical planets, like you were saying. The inscriptions were further deciphered in 2016. In 2016, revealing numbers connected with the synodic cycles of Venus and Saturn. So this thing was fully aligned.
Mm-hmm. Now, like I said,
weird.
That's where it just kind of throws me off, that I'm like, there's no way that the Greeks actually came up with this. I'm not discrediting the Greeks. They were some of the smartest cultures
Thank you.
ever. Shut up.
Thanks.
I said they were. I didn't say they are.
They went pretty gay there in Sparta. So
well,
I mean,
I actually had some facts for that threw people off. Like, how do you know that? But
come
like,
here, child. But sorry,
me, little boy. But you say, is Evan frozen? Just like sitting there.
No, I'm just reading.
Oh,
Evan's just like, Evan does this thing where he counts down to the end of the podcast.
he
Like
just
usually
like
when
froze.
we get like an hour in nowadays, he's just like,
we've
you can see him
been-
just doing this.
we've been there longer than
He'll do like, usually it starts like
Nah,
this.
I have
He'll
got to go
rotate.
pee so bad.
He'll rotate. He'll
Yeah.
rotate like this, and then slowly it morphs into you kind of see a little movement, like he's moving his leg,
like that.
and then the next thing you know, he's just like,
I'm over it.
and he's just
But like I said, they were outrageously intelligent for their time. But it's just the fact that there's no way possible that they would have came up with that on their own. No
yeah,
way.
especially since it predates whenever the Greeks had discovered that the Earth was not flat.
And not the center of the universe.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
What are you talking about, dude? We all know who the center of the motherfucking universe is. And
This
that's
guy.
Me.
this guy. Hey, he said me right when I switched it. Good play on. And now we all want to commit suicide because
Kermit suicide.
I'm going to
So you mean, hey, you can't say that. Don't you mean
I said
don't-
Kermit.
Hermit.
hey, Kermit sewer slide?
I don't want to
Yeah,
die and
that's
get
it.
could in shit.
I
Oh wait,
mean,
well they do
that's how
say
you
you shit
get-
your pants when you die.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Oh, dude, you can't even die
Oh,
peacefully.
No. It's
Yeah, you
gross.
can empty your bowels. Just go poop before you die.
No, it's not how that works, my guy.
That's why they say see the proctologist. So you can poopy.
That's not how that works, man.
Hey, quick question for you, Blake. Do you want an espresso?
No.
Fine, fuck you too. Back to you, Evan.
And back to you,
Oh.
Evan.
There you go, Evan.
Evan
As you were
Bell.
saying about shitting yourself when you're gonna die.
Evan Backstabber.
Well, since Evan Backstabber, hey, since the mid 18th century, humans have released over 0.5 trillion tons of carbon via the burning of coal, oil, or natural gas at a rate order of the magnitude faster than natural or long-term sources of sinks. Ooh,
Oh, hey,
In addition-
I'm gonna step out and go grab my beverage, and I'm gonna let you monologue, so no one's here to switch scenes. So monologue until I'm back. There you go. Keep going, Evan.
all of this carbon is biological in origin and thus depleted into 13C compared to the much larger pool of inorganic carbon. Thus, the ratio of 13C to 12C, those are all carbon for all of you nimwits out there in the atmosphere, ocean, and soils, is decreasing. Impact known as the Seuss effect, with a current change of around 1% C since the pre-industrial era in the surface, ocean, and atmosphere. That is all to say, once we are dead and gone, everybody who lives after us will know that we existed based on our impact through farming, through living, through farting and breathing. If you think that we will be lost to society, carbon 13 enriched will have you saved. Believe this when I say that you will be remembered. May it be through me or through anybody else, but you will be remembered. Remember. And if you forget it, remember again. That your mama loves you. You can always call your mom. You can always call your dad too, probably. There's always somebody around who you can reach out to if you're feeling a little down, depleted. Just like the Silurians did in Doctor Who, whenever they wandered back out of their holes and the lizard people wondered what had become of their planet. Don't forget that your mother loves you and your father probably loves you too. Unless they suck, then go find a therapist or a prostitute or something. I mean, if other human beings and intelligent creatures existed on this planet, there's no way that we're going to be able to find them unless they have put, like I previously mentioned, a satellite up in space and created the Black Knight satellite. I may be losing my thoughts and my minds as I begin to rant and rave while everybody stares at my beautiful face and wonders what's next to be thrown out of my mouth through word vomits. But I am attempting to quell the silence and quell the darkness that is being betrothed upon me through vicious cycles of individuals going to get coffee and perhaps more beer while I sit here and need to piss beyond belief. If you are finding yourself feeling down in the dumps, know that the Silurians and other races and species also feel like they have been forgotten. So don't feel lost. Everybody does sometimes. Just remember that they're probably standing just off camera with their headphones on listening to me. and I yell and I scream in hopes that they will come back one of these days, but they may not. They might not ever come back.
No,
But I'm here.
we don't want to come
Oh.
back.
He's back. Hello. Welcome back.
And back to Blake.
oh, he's
shit.
gone.
He's gone.
He's invisible.
Just back to the old me and you, my guy. Just you and
let's
me.
not. Is there a way that we could edit that last thing out? I kind of lost my mind for a minute there, but
No,
I'm
it's
sure
the
the
best
viewers
part.
are gonna love that.
I think he's still live streaming right now. They can't hear you, but they can hear me talking.
He's
if they're even-
yeah,
I don't
they,
even
no,
Are
they
there
can hear me on the live
Are
stream.
there still people there?
I think there's one person watching.
Oh shit!
I know.
Yo, random one person. What's their name? I can't see the stream. What's their name? What's their name?
I know Luffy Edits was in here a moment ago. I shouted
Luffy,
him out.
Luffy, where are you? Come back, Monkey D. Luffy. Oh, I should give him a holler, Monkey D. Luffy.
Wait, are you a fan of One Piece?
Yeah, I like One Piece. One Piece is fun.
Gotcha. I've never seen it.
I enjoyed so what got me into One Piece just for Luffy Edits. That's the name, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, that's him.
Luffy Edits. Shout out to you, my gay. He went and liked all of our stuff, added a bunch of our stuff to his favorites. Dude's a champ. But no, I'm a fan of One Piece. Actually, what got me onto One Piece was the fact that I came across an abridged series of One Piece where it was a parody, where people were like dubbing over the voices, and it shit was hilarious. But then I had never seen the actual anime though, so I was just like, I wonder what this anime is all about. Which then I ended up watching. Now, don't get me wrong, I have not seen everything of One Piece, mainly due to the fact that there's a lot of fucking anime of One Piece. There's a shitload,
And it's still going, I think.
I believe it is. And I watched a good chunk of it. I watched a lot. I don't even remember how much I watched. It was a lot, but I actually really fucking enjoyed it. It was good. And then of course here recently the One Piece live action came out.
I don't have Netflix, so I haven't seen it yet.
To be honest, I enjoyed it. I'm not like a diehard One Piece fan, as in like, you know how like for instance, if I watch something that has to do with Batman,
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be critiquing it. I can't help it, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, with like One Piece, something like that, like I still really enjoy it. I still really like it. From what I saw of the live action, they did a really good job at adapting
Yeah.
it for the most part.
Mhm.
They had a lot of shot for shots from the anime,
I have seen that.
and then the actors were awesome. I really liked the cast.
Now,
I
see-
really liked who they casted for the roles.
I'm gonna have to
So-
get Netflix because they're doing Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I'm worried about that.
I'm not.
I am. I'm
I'm-
very worried because they did the
We do not
what's it
talk
called?
about that. Don't you say them
Dude,
words.
it's trending right now. People are pushing that shit out there as
The
if it was
movie?
good. Yeah, and
No.
that shit, blah, 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 blah. What a twist. That fuck.
No, that movie was horrible.
I hate that
Because
live
like,
action
so you know the kid that played as Ong,
Yeah, his stupid son.
he's actually from here. What? No, that kid's from here.
No, the kid who played Aang
No, the kid is from.
in the original movie, that M. Night Shyamalan, that's
No.
his son.
No, it's not.
I promise you it's his son.
It's not. That kid's from here.
I'm pretty sure it's his
I'm
son.
pretty sure you're wrong.
Well, I hate him just as much as his
But
dad.
yeah.
Maybe that's why I think it's his son.
No, it's not his son. It's not his son, but no, he's actually from here. Like actually from like Garland, I think, or something. But like he's from here.
Ugh, no wonder he sucks.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Garland.
he got the part because he was a martial artist. But yeah, no, he's from here.
I'm looking it up right now.
But no, I actually have like extremely high hopes because have you seen like the preview for the live action that they did?
No, I haven't seen the preview.
Dude,
Wait, there's a preview out?
there's a preview out.
Is it good?
Yes,
Oh,
I am
I'll have to watch it after the podcast.
I am stoked.
That's from 2010. Yeah, there's Noah Ringer.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kid's name. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
It's Noah Ringer. So stupid. It's Noah Ringer. M. Night.
Shyamalan alaikum.
Yeah. Shalat. The guy who makes really shitty movies.
There's a few that he's
on
done that I've actually kind of
Sun.
liked.
Did y'all miss me?
I did. Terribly so.
Not that much.
Gay. So
So who was right?
I don't know. It didn't really give me an answer.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this right now. That movie was a hot pile of garbage.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was just pure shit.
Oh yeah.
And they ruined Sokka, who is hilarious.
They ruined
the whole thing.
because like the whole firebender thing. They have to have fire. No,
hey,
they did not.
Evan, can you do me a solid? I don't
Yes.
have the camera on you. I'm
I
being
want you to
polite
see.
because I know you're putting
a
a
nanner.
nanner in your mouth. In all reality,
Straight in
folks,
your
he
yaw.
legitimately had a banana, but now he.
Ooh.
Oh,
Okay, I'm
ew,
out.
dude.
I'm out.
Dude, that's like,
And that's the reason why the precursor culture left is people like you.
dude. Everything you just did, you're the kind of person who would get casted in a porno because you'd be willing to swallow the condom. The face.
You'd be the one. Fuck. You'd be the one hired in a porn to eat shit like 2 cups, 1 girl.
You be the one that.
Did you just say 2 cups, 1 girl? Wow.
Jesus Christ.
What are they doing with the 2 cups? Is it poop in one and
They're
pee in
making
the other?
cocktails.
Making cocktails.
She's making cocktails.
She's mixing drinks.
Oh, so it's just a regular fucking Tuesday night in a single chick's house with her friend over? That's gay. Like,
God, that banana
where's
was
the
delicious.
Well, one of them just got through with the breakup.
And one of them just got done with a breakup. It's okay.
Yeah.
What was it? Evan, would you mind pulling up on the stream? He said that there is a trailer out for the new Avatar show
On Netflix.
on
Oh,
Netflix.
God.
And I'm
With
a fan.
Avatar, what? The Last Airbender or the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, The
blue
Last
people?
Airbender. The Blue People one was good. I mean, the
No,
last one.
What?
meh.
What?
The last one.
Let me rant real quick while he's pulling that up. Let me tell you something about stupid Avatar with the blue retard.
Dude,
people.
it is Alien
No, no, no.
Pocahontas.
It's Ferngully.
Oh, no,
So
no, no,
when
no.
they
They're actually
first-
coming out with
no,
Ferngully.
no.
So good.
This is a fact. When the movie Ferngully came out, originally Ferngully, James Cameron
Uh-huh.
made Avatar as a Ferngully. Everything about Avatar is literally just Ferngully with extra seasonings thrown into the cooking. That's
little
it.
spice.
And you know what? Avatar was
go.
dumb.
What's up?
It was about watching a bunch of blue, half-naked people
I failed to see the
with
problem
bows
here.
and arrows take down badass. Dude, everything about that movie was so stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I gotta be one spiritual. Look at the tree. No, fuck that tree. I want a shopping mall right there. You're in my way. Listen, capitalism at its finest. I am here to monopolize on this situation. Look at these great resources. We don't even have this shit on Earth. I want this real bad. So we're gonna come in here. Oh, blue people? Blue Man Group was out of style a while back. Get rid of those fucks. We're gonna come in here and they have bows and arrows. Ooh, whoop-de-doo. Here's an Abrams tank. Yeah, you ain't doing shit against that Abrams tank. But of course, somehow they won.
Well,
I can't stand the movie. I can't stand it.
yeah.
And then it was all like, hey, don't make fun of him. He's crippled. I'm like, what do we fucking mean don't make fun of him? He's crippled. He's the main character. Somehow he managed to get into a body that works.
So they're actually coming out with a live action Ferngully.
Right, wrong camera. There we go. Right camera this time.
Hey, you guys.
Did you just quote Goonies?
Yeah. Hey, you guys. Baby.
Here you go. Here's the stream's up if you want to pop in there real quick.
Oh,
Avatar,
look, there's
The Last
there's
Airbender. Netflix.
Oh, and he can do Oh, and that's what we call what was that called again?
Troll?
Tom
That's
of
Tom of
Finland. That's
Finland.
Tom of Finland. Tom
Oh.
of Finland. That's it. Look at that butt. Hey, can you make it full screen?
And
Yeah.
audio.
Oh, no. You should not be allowed to control this.
So
Elaborate of why I fear for this thing's future, because after seeing that, and I already switched it on this
well,
side.
I know that, but I was
Yeah,
talking
sorry,
about
sorry. So you can see
I want to see Evan. Okay?
So I fear for this thing's future because they're going to see how successful it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, the camera wasn't on you.
Oh, well, I mean, he can see me though, right?
You can do it now.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, I can see you. I can
can see you
Yeah,
now.
I can see you on the TikTok
didn't
stream,
see
and I
you.
can see you on
Oh,
here.
see, I could have blown him a kiss on there. And he would have
Oh,
seen.
shit.
Yeah.
My bad. So no, what I fear for the Avatar, this show's future, and let me explain why, even to the TikTok viewers, because
All two of us.
they're gonna see how successful it is, and they know there was another anime show that came out that was a sequel to Avatar: The Last Airbender, which was The Legend of Korra, and Disney's gonna hear about it, and Disney's gonna start going, "Oh, whoa," and then Disney's gonna go, and then Disney's gonna come in, and Disney's gonna be like, "Oh, we're gonna buy this franchise, blah blah," because we have all this money, and they're gonna buy it, and then they're gonna be like, "Let's put a chick in it, make it gay, and make it lame."
Kind of
And
like The
that's
Legend of Korra was.
Yes, and they're gonna do it but they're gonna double down. Next thing you know, everyone's gonna be gay.
Korra's
And
going to be an African
That's a sick
American
reference,
chick.
Ben. That's
Yeah.
a sick reference, dude.
she's gonna be an African American for the first season. Second season, she's gonna be Asian.
Indian Asian.
Oh, dude, that's so diverse. I'm so progressively turned on right now. Like I can't even handle.
That escalated
Personally,
very quickly.
Personally, I'm really jizzed up for that right now. By the way,
Dude, I'm so
let's
jizzed.
just get that out of the way.
Oh,
I'm-
yeah.
Like my progressive jizz build has like become climaxed almost. I can't wait until it's just jizz.
And this is when I want to end the podcast normally. Whenever we start talking like this.
Oh,
I was going to say, we have like totally deviated from where we started.
well, Antikythera is like another word for like gay, right?
Same thing.
That's what I thought too. Well, you said
So,
Silurian. You're making
my
me slur,
fear
baby.
is that the things that we're going to get left behind aren't really cool. If you go ahead and hop on my stream real quick one more time, I got something else I want to share with you guys. Is that we're going to get this sort of shit that is fucking ruining society. No, not the woman.
There's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's nothing in your
The
stream.
ears.
There's nothing in
What?
your stream.
Oh shit! There you go.
Whoa. Let's
That's
see it.
yeah. That's gonna be the stuff that we're
There's
left with.
these cat ears that are based off of your
Automated.
emotion.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Have you not seen those?
So this
I've
is what I'm worried about is going to fucking just be left behind for people to see many years in the future.
I wonder if we have to blame Japan for all of what's going on in our modern
No,
times.
then we'd have to blame America because we did that to them.
Well, Americans are dumb. Oh, what's my bad? I popped the deal up. No, Americans are very dumb.
oh, 100%.
I can say that because I am one.
Yeah. Hey,
And I'm
for
stuck
this,
in
are
here
you
with the
also
rest
watching
of
this
you guys.
brainwave cat? Are you also watching this brainwave cat ear thing?
No, you killed the stream.
Oh, how?
It like kicked us out. Okay, there we go. We're back in now. Bring it back to
Should
the
we
beginning.
should we narrate this?
Introducing the new Evanson.
Oh my god.
Oh, look at the real ears. Oh, you're supposed to make it full screen. Oh, you're winking at me. Oh,
Oh no, wait. I got.
hey,
one
you're
for you.
supposed
Hang
to
on,
make
hang
this
on,
full
hang on.
screen. What?
I sit here by
I
myself.
wonder what today.
I wonder. Will I sit here eat lunch by myself, or will someone come join me? Do not. Oh, I sit here eat donut. Ooh, donut make me happy. It got the chocolate.
You have to control your breath more when you speak. I am so very sad. The thought of break not. I'm a man.
over there?
Oh,
drop something?
Oh, come back here. I am. Oh,
His
No,
Bluetooth.
didn't drop anything.
But what was in his ear? Like,
I was very hoping he would notice me, but he did not. Oh, I am very. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go finger with my girls.
That's
wow.
I don't know what would just happen there.
No.
Whoa! What happened?
Wow.
What happened? Something just happened. We're like way too. What? is going on with the view? What the? What has happened?
Ben broke it.
My screen is becoming very weird. There we go.
Yay.
My bad, guys.
Wow.
So, that was a weird video we watched. A lot of really weird narration going on.
But
Here's
I mean,
another
just-
weird one.
Oh,
Oh.
God.
Evan.
But I mean, just think about the-
just a video of you?
Yeah, it's just me.
Yeah, I mean, just think about the stuff that we're
White.
leaving behind. White. Wow. Okay. You ain't
can't
got to call me
full-
out like
you gotta
that, but
make it
whatever.
Full screen, bro. You gotta make it full screen. You're gonna get us caught for copyright. 360p. What the fuck? What
All
the?
it offers.
Are you
Why did-
kidding? This has
is
got to be
this-
bullshit. Whoa! It says black. That's racist.
Snow leopard.
I'm only slightly offended. Oh,
Ooh,
they're
let me
about-
touch
dude,
your ears.
Dude, they're about to make out.
I remember watching this movie. Oh, yeah, I definitely remember seeing this
So they
one.
have like objects that go up hard when they're feeling a certain way. So they want to be a dude.
Who's to say they're not?
Oh shit! I've heard about them lady boys. I'm pretty sure. Oh, that's confused. That
Said
looked-
focused.
Oh, I thought it said confused at first.
Sleep.
I can't even read that. Relaxed. What the? This is the weirdest shit.
What
Oh
is
my-
zone?
Kobe.
Dude, when I see people wearing that, that's like watching someone walk around. You know how people can move their
Oh,
ears?
I can.
Yeah,
They're swapping
there's
ears.
something wrong.
Whoa. Swapped ears.
Up and down.
Well,
Ew, what did she just do to her? When she's like, I'm a vampire. Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to show you guys. This is. I hope this is not what we're leaving behind.
If
Oh,
you
no,
look right
like-
here, look at her eyeballs right there, guys. And she's laser focusing down to here at her,
her
titty.
ears aren't
Oh wait, no,
focused.
sorry. Her eye line's going this way. She's looking at them ears. Ew, ew. There's 4 of them. Gross.
Yeah, I mean, that's the stuff we're leaving behind.
Where'd my mouse go? I can't find my mouse. There it is. Oh, we're back on Evan. Pretty sure we just
Hey,
lost
everybody.
like 10 other viewers. You know. Pretty sure we did. Evan, why are you just staring anonymously? Yeah, back to you, Blake.
Oh well, I'm not. I'm looking at more weird things that we might be leaving behind, like the inflatable chocolate. I don't. If
Well,
Inflatable chocolate. What are you talking about?
dude,
What do you mean inflatable chocolate? Can you just explain it, describe it?
like we've
what it
literally been
says?
going over like technological advances of thousands of years ago, and we're leaving behind cat ears.
I'm
Oh,
more
yes.
impressed by
Or this- or
inflatable
this-
chocolate.
or this Harvard
you know how
biomedical
much
engineer, David. I'm talking
would-
here. I'm
I
talking
know,
here. Hey, come on! I'm trying to talk here. What are you doing? What are you doing? Come on!
You
Harvard biomedical engineer David. Oh,
Oh.
come on! Oh,
You
come
lack
on!
of discipline. You're not wearing the cat ear, so I can't tell what emotions you have.
You just gotta look between my legs. If I'm either erect or like relaxed, you gotta know what's going on then.
Yeah,
And
we
if
all
wagging,
know
he's
your
excited.
we all know your penis is like zebra gum. Like, oh,
It's fun for a second, then loses flavor.
They're yelling at me through the floor.
why? Wait, who? What? Are you
He's
in
in the
hell?
basement.
My family. I'm in the basement.
God's up there like,
Close
shut,
enough.
God's up there like, shut the fuck up, Evan. You did this to yourself.
Shut up down there.
This is in hell. You are in hell right now, brother.
You know why you're here.
Ooh, at the bottom.
Does
part.
my voice not
Whisper.
change whenever I press these voice changer buttons?
No.
You don't have it hooked up correctly.
That sucks, but anyway,
With a bendy straw.
Anyways, what were you saying, Evan?
this Harvard biomedical engineer David Edwards and students created this food and invention in 2007, which deposits few hundred milligrams of cocoa onto your tongue, allowing you to get your chocolate fix without eating a bag of fun-sized Twix. So you put it on your mouth, and then it just turns into like a chocolate bar.
What? Something
It's inhalable.
Is there
So you
No.
breathe it in.
what it would like pop?
You know what
You
that
want
sounds
video?
like to me?
There's a video of it.
You know what that sounds like to me?
Yes, please put it up on the stream.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes. Dude, the way you just said it was good too. I like that. Diabetes. You know, speaking of diabetes, when I see these little tubbies walk around with their colas, kind of want some.
You and these tubbies.
I'm allergic to fat people.
Then why am I here?
I'm not sexually exploring you.
Well, I mean, I would hope not. That's almost borderline incest.
Dude, that dude looks sad.
Yeah, because he
very sad.
inhaled chocolate and he got diabetes.
Let's see it.
Yes, diabetes.
Oh, bro, what?
No,
the fuck?
what kind of hit was that? No, sir.
Is he about to die? Is this like Iblet shit?
What? Why are there different colors? Different flavors of chocolate? Dark chocolate?
He's freaking out.
He's on a sugar high now.
Well, I'm so fucking confused by there's no audio.
I don't think we can get all. You like chocolate, don't you?
Yes.
You get all the flavor, but none of the guilt with new Le Whip.
Can you turn it up a little bit?
You can
Yeah.
also try the raspberry. It's too good a temptation. You like chocolate, don't you? We can get all the flavor, but none of the guilt with new Le Whip. You can also try the raspberry, milk chocolate, and mint chocolate flavors for even more delicious Le
Mint
Whip
chocolate. Whoa.
Seriously, what is that?
Get your winter weight a punch in the face with all new no-calorie Le Whip.
Where is that? Where's this coming from? Is no one else hearing this? Oh, I'm going home.
And his lungs exploded. Because you said it's inflatable, right? This has got to be fake.
Yeah, look
It's an
at it.
inhalant.
It's
As
gotta be
rich as
fake.
coffee, as light as air. Whiffable coffee powder. You get 3 whiffs per cart.
Dude, I'd be done with that in no time. Just-
Oh, fuck all that. Give me more. That's not enough. 3 whiffs? I need at least 30. In one sitting.
Because, I mean, you know, they do call me Fat Stanley, so
How
there's
do
that.
How do I buy it? I want to buy it.
You want to buy it?
The Amazons.
That's true. You could try it out on Amazon. I don't know how the return policy is if you try it and want to return it.
So your little whiff is horrible. Tastes like butthole. 0 stars.
That's fair. That's fair. What was it? I thought you were saying that there was actually like a chocolate that you eat and then it inflates.
Like a Willy Wonka chocolate.
Yeah, well, that's what you said, and then you're like, "Well,
I
you
did
inhale
say
it, too."
inflatable. I fucked it up. I read it wrong.
Oh, so you misled me. You're like worse than
Yeah,
the
fake
you're worse
news,
than the
dude.
girls you meet in the red light district where they act like they like you and then they're like, "That's like $300," and you're like, "What, $300?" Like, I'm not paying
Wait, so they
$300.
don't like me?
They charged me money, and I want my money back.
Yeah. And they end up giving me a refund because I'm disappointing.
Well, I gave them a return. Chlamydia is a two-way street. In your faces, bitch. Oh, look, Evan looks so stern and disappointed.
I found another wild fucking video I want to share
Ah,
with you guys.
fine, we will put it on for you. Let's see.
This one's called this one's called the Ura Club.
Oh, God.
Make
It
it full
was
screen,
created
make it
by a
full screen.
urologist.
People are waiting to tee off, and there's no restroom out here.
Guys, how many times has this happened to you? Come on, you know you can't hold it in that long. Don't worry.
Of course, they got an
I've
old
got
white
the
guy doing
perfect
this.
Gift for you. Introducing the Euro Club, the discreet sanitary solution for your urgent relief. Created by a board-certified
Okay,
urologist, it looks like an ordinary golf club, but
That-
it contains a
what
special
kind of golf
reservoir
club are
built into the
you
grip to
using?
relieve yourself.
Good
the Euro
God.
Club comes with a special pad to keep your privacy, and it appears to everyone that you're just checking out your club.
Oh
At
my
first it seems comical,
gosh.
but believe me, when you really have to go, it's a lifesaver.
Well, where does it go? Does
was
it
gonna
just
say,
drain
is
down
there
the
a-
pipe?
There'd have to be a
like
like no. I
bush.
pee way too much
Dramatically
for.
improve your golf scores for only
Oh my gosh.
$49.95. And when you order now, get a second Euro Club for half.
Yeah,
I
it
mean-
just goes into the stick. It just sits in there until you empty it
Well,
out
dude,
somewhere.
that is a very thin stick. I feel like if I be peeing it, if it doesn't have like a hole in the bottom for it to drain out, it's gonna fill up quick.
Oh, yeah.
Bro. I mean, you heard.
It's a group. It's a team effort.
This is also something that I want to buy. If I can get a little whiff in one of these, this would be fantastic. I just love gag things like this.
I think it was called a Go Girl or something like that. You know,
I know.
they make
It's
they
the
make
female
the,
urinal.
yeah, they make the little. It's basically like a funnel, a collapsible funnel that
Mhm.
you can use, that a girl can use if they have to make an emergency pee. They'll like on a road trip and they'll stop on the side of the road and they can use that to point and shoot. You know, I bought that for my wife, and
I'm
as
gonna
like
have to
a
ask her
joke,
about that.
I thought it'd be hilarious, and she's never used it.
So here's something funny. So a buddy of mine, he's a military vet and he's a small business owner now. He actually started, and it's not a gag gift, like it's a legitimate like product for hemorrhoids.
Damn.
Yeah, and it's called Roid Rage is what the product
hell
line
yeah.
is. Yeah, it's
Dude,
but I mean it's
you had me at rage.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But the funny thing is like his logo is like an army man sitting on a cactus. Well, the best part is like his wife actually photoshopped his face onto the army man, so it's legitimately his face is on the logo.
Oh, that's dope.
Oh yeah, yeah, Evan. If you want to look that up, like it's pretty funny.
Do they call him like cactus ass?
Oh, I don't know because he talks like he's like, not only am I the owner of the creator, I am also the first customer, because he's gone through and done all the research and all that, and it's like it's pretty funny.
What is it called again?
Roid Rage,
Roid rage.
but it's not like
I take that back. You had me at roid, and then you double had me at rage.
oh yeah.
And by the time you ended the word rage, I was already naked.
So what? So I actually went out with him one night to the stockyards, and we were doing like
Oh,
a
that's
Q&A with
cute.
people. We were doing a Q&A with people, and like actually one chick was out there with us, and she actually talked a dude to putting the hemorrhoid cream on his lips, saying it was like a chapstick.
Oh, dude.
And like he was intoxicated enough, and he goes, "Man, why is it tingling?" I said, "It's gonna help you whistle better."
Here you go.
It's okay. You remember? There was I don't mean to
Here
bring
you
us
go.
down.
I got
you
it pulled up right
You
here.
got it. You got it. All right. Let me get that stream up.
There it is. There it is. That is his face on the product. By the way, if anybody, product placement here, it's good for gag gifts, and it's actually a good product. Not that I've used it myself, but he's actually doing really well. The products are, that's also their.
Don't be a dumbass, be a numbass. Oh, I love
That's
it.
actually their slogan.
Shout out to Roid Rage.
Yeah, check it out. Roid Rage hemorrhoid ointment. They've got fiber
Please
pills.
please be our sponsors. We will push your
Yeah,
product.
that'd be
We
fucking
know.
awesome.
They've got a lot of really good good products and stuff. Like so, there's the
Yes.
fiber pills and stuff like that.
Fiber in the hole.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He's definitely going with the whole,
Make asses
funny.
great again, maggot.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, he's definitely going with it because a lot of people, it's an uncomfortable subject to talk about. Like, oh, I got anal fissures and hemorrhoids and all that. He's going with it to make it fun and lighthearted and all that. And him being a military veteran, he's definitely running with it, and like it's doing pretty good. Like he's doing pretty good for himself.
Well, that's
So-
good.
Oh, what is his name? What is his name? Do you know?
I
I don't know if you want to put that out there, but
Trey Coleman.
shout out Trey. This is awesome stuff here. You're doing good work, bud. Keep it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So
I might be one of your customers
shameless plug
for
here.
my massive hemorrhoids
Shameless plug.
from listening to speak. I'm just kidding. It's from his stern dad looks. All of a sudden, next thing I know, a hemorrhoid's forming, and it's like, this is what you get, bitch.
Well, yeah, I put on my podcast voice whenever I talk on here.
This is how I really talk. Whenever anybody wants to really hear me tweak and talk, this is how I do it. So whenever I talk, Ben hates it. I know he does.
Listen to me,
So
motherfucker.
sorry.
This is how I really fucking talk all the time on the goddamn podcast. You know this for a fucking fact. We going out to motherfucking Pluto to go see alien titties, and you know that they're the best fucking tits out there too.
Oh, you
The
tell
best out of
him.
the-
You tell him what.
Well,
You tell them where we're going. You tell them what we're doing. If we ain't going to Pluto to see alien titties and getting some fucking baguettes on the way to get some bread in my belly with some meat, I ain't going anywhere else. Come on now.
I got
If you want to go with me,
I got asked the
You
other
gonna get
fucking fuck you. I got asked the other motherfucking day at work by my coworker. He's like, what's that thing you say about going out to Pluto to see alien titties? I'm like, yeah. And then he was just like, he started bringing up dudes. And I was like, no, man, that's Venus. Venus is for the penis. We don't go out to Venus because that's where you see the penises.
and you know what they say about a penis, don't you? A surprise one is never a good one. Come on, are you with me in that? Come on.
Until it is. And they call that rape. And it's only one-sided in flavor.
You know, I dated a girl one time that said having a small penis
Uh-oh.
is not a big thing, not a big issue.
It actually was a big issue. You might say it was a little issue.
I still wish she didn't have it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Didn't see that one coming, did you?
No.
Neither did
It
I.
is not that big of an issue.
Jesus is our Lord and Savior. He's coming
I,
around
myself,
third. He's coming
I'm
around
looking
for the home
really
base
handsome.
run. He lands in, and whoop-de-doo, Basil, there's a penis. Watch out for the penis, boys. Meh. Oh, there he goes. He goes for the slide. Turns out he's gay, so we're changing the
Take it
camera.
off me. Take it off of me. What are we doing here?
This is 1936, fellas. We don't film the gay people. Because back here at this time, that is wrong.
Well, you better take it off yourself then, huh?
Oh,
Guilty.
Oh, brother. Yeah, brother. We know you're gay. And whenever you come around these parts and you're looking for some dick, you know where to call, brother, because I know where to get it, dude. If you're looking for it, come on down to 751 New Yorkshire Lane, because that's where Ben's daddy lives. And if you're looking for some dick, you're going to get it there, brother. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah, motherfucker! You yeah! I'm gonna Leroy motherfucking Jenkins that shit.
I wonder if the mic actually picked me up. It probably cut me out.
Yeah, it cut you out for a moment there.
Who wants a motherfucking dick?
Evan does. Meh.
Hi.
Well, as you can see, these are the things that happen on our podcast.
like the pood.
On the pood.
So if the Antikythera is what is left behind by the Greeks, and then the Black Knight satellite is left behind for what other species?
Let's just go with the precursor on that
Inaki,
one.
Whatever y'all were referring to. What we are going to leave behind is probably carbon or just a bunch of dildos, and I am not here for either of
I
those.
was about to say, man, that it's probably more like they're gonna find like old hard drives that were locked in like airtight sealed things, and they open it up, and it's gonna be like, what's with these guys' obsession with fucked up porn? Like,
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right.
So here's something, kind of to go back on topic for a second. The strange thing is they're starting to actually question the, what is it? They're starting to question whether or not the fossils are actually real because they've been able to grow and manipulate fossils in a lab to where they're genetically similar in every aspect to actual fossils we found, carbon dating and everything.
oh wait, are we actually going back to like a real
I'm just jumping in there real quick.
real
Just
topic?
completely random useless fact.
I thought we were gone.
Has this been long enough yet? Has this been long enough?
Yeah, he always gets this way. I'm like, if you go back and watch every podcast, like there at the end, he's like, "Is this long?"
Are we good? Are we good? Am I good?
I think
I'm
it's
out.
been 3 hours.
Yeah, it has been almost.
That's not the longest podcast we've ever done. The longest one we ever did was
Yeah,
8.5 hours.
Good God.
It was with a
I
flat
don't
earther.
ever want to do that. I don't ever want to do that again. That was horrific.
That was a really bad time. I mean, it was entertaining because he was a nutcase, but
I
it
mean,
was
I am too.
so fucking long, and that's not what she said. Back to you, Evan. Or sorry, Blake.
But yeah, they're starting to question the like fossils and stuff because, like I said, they're able to manipulate them onto a genetic level to be extremely similar to fossils we found.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I
I
shift
see
the
him throwing
camera over
stuff
to
because
Evan,
Evan's
he's
getting
catching shit.
Evan's getting he's gone. We've lost
Yeah,
him.
we've lost him.
We've lost him.
I mean,
I'm still here. I know you're. I
even-
know. I'm still here. I'm hearing you. It's just
You're
I
not
have
listening.
a life. But do
Yeah, we ended up going way longer
Yeah.
than expected.
Yeah.
That's what she
which is
said
good.
as well.
I love you guys. This is
She was
awesome.
she was impressed. I think she was.
And Blake, you had a lot of really good insight about firefighting and whatnot, which I'm sure a lot of individuals don't have, which is very cool. Also, a lot of insight coming from a different perspective of us based around Silurian-like concepts, which is also very cool. Because a lot of time we get stuck in our own little soundscape over here.
Well, I mean, I like to look at things, like I said, I was going at it originally from like a video game perspective because that's kind of where it really caught me was, like I said, the Assassin's Creed series, because that's what really brought it into my attention. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. And I was like, this is wild how like this could actually be a thing.
If you think that's wild from the Assassin's Creed stuff, you should go and play Half-Life 1.
I'm good.
No, I'm being serious. The Half-Life, that game.
Oh
and
yeah, no, I
Half-Life
know the
2,
series is wild. Like it's actually really
Dude,
good. I've never
it's
never jumped
very-
in it.
it's very the way it could translate into kind of what may may happen or has happened or something along those lines is that it's plausible.
Here's something to blow your mind. So the Flintstones,
Oh,
prehistoric or future?
future.
I'm voting alternate future.
Okay.
I'm voting future after a cataclysmic event. That's sort of what we're stuck in.
Okay. I would agree with you because they've actually had a theory that, the Jetsons, Elroy.
Any
their
day now,
son-
Ben.
Huh?
Ben, the camera's still stuck on me. You're doing it on purpose.
But their son Elroy created a time machine that was supposed to go to the future, and that's whenever they had the movie of Jetsons Meet the Flintstones, and they made it. They actually made a theory off of that actually worked. That he thought he went back in time, but what if he actually went so far in the future that it was after a major cataclysmic event?
Well, to touch on cataclysmic events,
Whoa.
me and Evan had mentioned it before. Well, we had mentioned it previously with like different theories and stuff, but
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if we found out that, we probably at one point in time, a long ass time ago, there may have been a giant cataclysmic or multiple cataclysmic events that would potentially have happened that would have totally reset us,
Mhm.
And set us back and put us in the Stone Age, essentially, just due to the fact that, like, yeah, some of us survived it, but overall, it was such a massive event.
Get an
that
etch a
happened.
sketch and start over.
Yeah, like everything got lost,
Mhm.
and you're starting from nothing, like literally nothing. A lot of population's gone. Most of the population's gone. Like,
Well, like
the
the Ice
works.
Age.
I've seen those movies.
Kid the sloth.
You ladies keep marinating.
Hey, you ladies. The keeper of the fleet.
Now to find a meal for a conquering hero.
But I mean, that's a pretty good concept that, like I said, an Ice Age completely one of those cataclysmic events, and it just kind of, like I said, grabbed the etch a sketch, shook it up, and all right, here we go. We're starting over.
The last thing I want to say, because I know Evan's gotta go and we gotta wrap this up, but one thing, and I know Evan probably has input on this or his thoughts on it at least, but I really wonder the theory or the potential of in Antarctica. There's a whole, like, other than the majority of Antarctica being completely off limits, like 100% off limits, there are areas towards the center where the actual South Pole would be, where there's, I want to know because they say that there's vegetation. They say that there's more mountain range that's actually not the ones you see on top of everything, but the ones that are apparently below the ice. I'm really curious as to what is down there. If it's fully frozen all the way through to the ground, right? And then is there stuff frozen in that, or is there like a gap?
Almost
Like,
kind of
where
like a
it's like
hollow
a-
Earth theory.
I would.
concept.
I'm not saying concept, yes, but I'm
Yeah.
not saying actual hollow Earth. I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
it's just a little air pocket.
Yeah.
And I'm curious as to because they say that because it's kind of like when you get a frost or like a good snow, first heavy
There's-
frost, it builds. It's an insulator.
Yeah.
So it keeps all the warmth inside on the plants in the fields growing while it's frozen on top.
Well, here's
so
something.
that kind of concept. So.
Here's something for you to marinate on that. Then there's actually a cave system in. I'm thinking it's Greater Asia that actually has its own climate. It's actually got its own ecosystem within the cave system.
And the proctologist was wondering why my he was a little thrown off too because my butt's pretty warm.
But no, like there's a full on ecosystem in there. Like it's large enough to
I just wanted to get Evan's face.
but like there's a
Or
full
my
on
face.
ecosystem. So I mean it's highly plausible because much like you were saying, you can stave off cold with an air pocket. Ice is an extremely good insulator. Extremely good. I mean, that's the reason why, Eskimos, when they use igloos, like you can actually have it to like 50 degrees within the igloo and it's like negative something outside.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's highly plausible. And I mean, it's controlled airspace. So, I mean, we can't just be sending people over like, hey, check this out. Like,
Look at those big old pair of alien titties down there.
yeah.
Oh hell yeah, brother.
Would it be prehistoric?
Hell
titties?
yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother. This is the rest of the fucking podcast.
Big old alien.
We should all talk like we have like major sleep apnea problems.
Start talking like Boomhauer.
Like sleep apnea problems, you mean? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Sound like you have a
Hey,
stroke.
pull up my stream, would you? I got something I want to show you.
I'm pretty
So-
sure you're the one who has to pull up your stream. I can't stop you from peeing.
I've already pulled it up. You got to click on it, my guy.
There you go.
So this is a like refractor image underneath Antarctica, and all these pillars people are saying are buildings that have been trapped underneath Antarctica for so long. And this line that goes across is a tunnel system that is underneath Antarctica.
Mole people.
So, what Blake was saying is that these are sort of where people would be living because it's a good insulator.
Mm-hmm.
Would that
This is what a rendered image is of like what an artist thought would look like,
Yeah.
Well, we were already warned about the crab people. South Park made sure to tell us about that.
Man, bear, pig.
Woot. Woot. And there's Evan. I know Evan's got to go,
Nice.
so I guess we have to wrap this one up.
Yeah, sorry guys. I'm in the process of trying to buy land to build a house. So the realtor is wanting us to go do stuff, and I'm running out of time to be here.
Yeah, well, you go do your thing, man. And, well, if you want to say bye to everybody, we're going to wrap this up. Next, like, couple
Bye, everybody.
minutes.
Make sure you,
Unless you want us to end it right
Eat-
now, we can do that.
yeah, I mean,
Make
let's
it
go ahead
simple.
and end it now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Food sounds good.
Yeah.
Love lots and smell farts, y'all. Take it easy.
Hugs, not drugs.
Yeah. And thank you for being on, Blake. It
Of
was
course.
fun.
Absolute pleasure.
Drag your ass
Like
out
you
here
were
again.
it was a pleasure to meet you and talk to you. So hopefully we can get to have you back on and meet
Hey,
up with you again. That'd be great.
Anytime y'all want me on and I'm not working, I'll be more than happy to come out
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
or come in, whatever.
Well,
Hey, yeah, buddy.
Hell yeah, dude.
well, thank you guys for tuning in. If you made it this long,
From all of our
Probably.
random.
they probably did make it
Ramblings.
this long. But I will, because I'm here. I'm
Yeah.
present.
You were involved.
Anyways, thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next time. You want to say bye, Evan, one more time? Look at that sweet
Evan.
brick wall that he built. So I just want to make a comment on that awesome brick wall you built. Don't pay attention to the bottom right corner of the screen. He built that wall, bottom right corner of the screen, everybody. He built that with his two hands.
Handsome hands.
And he's gone. He's gone. He's gone. Oh, he's back. Oh, look.
Yeah. That's my Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. Yeah.
That's horrible.
All right, guys. Can we
Yeah,
can we
do the
end this already?
chopper.
What's
All right,
happening?
we
What
said
are we
bye
doing
like
here?
8 times.
This is a southern
Stop
goodbye.
recording the fucking thing, then, bud. What are we? What are we
Fine, I'll
doing
leave the
here?
camera on me so they have to stare. And make sure to remember, look at that sign right there, guys.